Hopefully we're streaming to YouTube and not Twitch. I don't think we're streaming to YouTube. No, we're streaming to YouTube.
At least I'll feel like at home on Twitch.
Yeah, if I accidentally click the wrong thing and start streaming to YouTube or to Twitch, I'd be very, very annoyed.
Oh yeah, you're live.
Yeah. Perfect. Perfect. So we are live right now on the DBG Clips channel, and also we are going to be live on, well, this is going to be uploaded onto the DBG YouTube channel, because, well, the DBG Clips channel doesn't really pull in much traction because it's only just started.
Oh, I thought I could hide over here on the Clips channel. This is going official?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm away for the weekend. I need my videos. I'm away for 3 days.
Cool. I'm down.
So we'll wait till a few people get in. Anyway, before we start talking about anything too crazy 2K related. So before I end, are you looking forward to 2K23? You too?
Yeah. I'm optimistic. Like, very optimistic. Well, they've given us a long time to look forward to it, so as every day goes by, I get a little bit more excited. That's where
I've got a good feeling about 2K23. I mean, I don't know. Call me crazy. This is probably not a great conspiracy, but the odd years of 2K have been better than the even years of 2K historically, I believe. Gives me a good feeling. I don't know if there's any truth to that, but I think for me personally, anyways, the odd years have been better. So there's something there.
You think like the even years are like the 0.5 games? Is that how you see it? Like 20 wasn't 20, it was 19.5, and then they worked on 21.
I mean, we can go all the way back to 2K15. 2K15 was obviously the biggest far jump ahead in game modes. From 2K14 to 15, that's when like not even modern MyTEAM, but that's when the auction house came in. So like that's a huge deal. 2K17, big jump,
yeah. And
then 2K19 was arguably, if it wasn't 15, the biggest jump. So 2K19 was a huge jump, and then 21 brought in XP. So yeah, no, I think historically the even years have been considerably worse and considerably less interesting than the odd years.
Yeah, there's somebody in my Twitch chat right now who has my name misspelled as their profile.
I see it, right? There's an E in your last name, right?
Yeah, there's an E in my name.
Yeah.
But,
dude, the Pro-Am Ireland pictures that you guys took, the mugshots are historic. Between you, Jack, and Dale, your guys' mugshots for that were historic.
That mug, I don't have any like actual decent pictures, so that mugshot is my LinkedIn picture.
I mean, they put Jax in the local newspaper out there.
Yeah.
Have you seen that article?
They have me in my own as well. I never told anyone where I was from, and like my like local newspaper like posted where I was from, and I'm like, I've never said this publicly. like the area of Dublin. I'm like, it's a big area, so it makes no difference. But I'm like, I've never given out this information. Like, where did you get this information from?
You can narrow it down by listening to you, but from there it's, to the square mile it gets tough.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But yeah, that one was kind of annoying. Yeah, that was a weird one. I just remember Basketball Ireland just tagging my Instagram and everything, and then my Instagram being Thanos snapped by scam accounts.
I remember when you were pushing real heavy at the start of all your videos to go follow your new Instagram. It's a grimy world of hackers out there, man.
Yeah.
Turn on your two factor,
It was. I didn't get hacked. I got Thanos snapped because for impersonating myself.
Oh yeah, that's even worse. You can't really avoid that.
You can't avoid it. Someone paid. Someone genuinely paid to get my account banned. I don't know why someone would pay to get my Instagram banned. I don't use Instagram. If I was logged on one day, it was gone.
See a question in chat. Question for Jacob: will he ever get a man bun? No, this is the longest my hair will be ever. I'm getting my hair cut tomorrow. I'm a big fan of the hat and headband game, and any longer than that, I'm good. So
I'm planning on recreating the money picture for 2K23, buying a bunch of fake money.
What, the one of me?
Yeah.
That picture is terrible. That picture's terrible. What is the explanation behind that?
I have no idea. Yeah, no, that was at some point during the summer of 2017. I was 19 years old and I was working construction. I was getting good money working construction, and I felt really good about that, but I have no idea what possessed me to take a money spread picture in front of my unmade bed in my parents' house that day. I have no clue.
Nothing about that picture said money apart from the actual money.
Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, the unmade bed in the background is kind of what makes that picture like as ironic as it is.
I'm so rich, I don't even need to make my bed. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I don't even know where I got that picture from. Like, it was just on my phone. It was just on my phone one day, and I screenshotted it a second time. It was in my screenshots, and I screenshot it a second time to push it back up to the top because I was like, I'm using this at some stage.
When I do my first pack opening for 2K23, I should definitely use that as a thumbnail. $300 pack opening on 2K23.
But I assume you guys are both somewhat optimistic in terms of unlimited and limited changing.
It has to. If it doesn't, the game's gonna die. I promise you it will. I don't care what anyone says. People probably are going to say that the game's bigger than that, but no. Unlimited doesn't change substantially. Better yet, even just leave and be reinvented entirely. It's going to die. But it's a big discussion that we can go into about that. I think the Jazz is definitely on the same page as me, but I don't know if DBG feels the same way about. There's no point.
No.
In building your collection and building your team if the flagship mode doesn't consist of using said team to compete against other people online.
I agree. Like,
DBG, me and you had this chat recently, right? We were talking about the pandemic's impact on 20.
Yeah.
Why it blew up. But I think that was the other factor, wasn't it? That it was the last year where the purpose of the game was to build a squad to go online. But you couldn't have another purpose that year. You had to build a squad to go online. So I think the whole dynamic of the game just changed to grinding, sniping, and all the peripheral stuff, the fluff. You know, the core of the game mode just died. It's been dead for 2 years. You could ask 80% of the community why they're building a team and they couldn't give you an answer.
Yeah, I agree. And that's one of the biggest problems I felt with Unlimited is that there was no incentive for anyone to play the mode. Was there? Other than the Bob Nedelicki and Gary Payton months. There was no incentive for anyone to play the mode. If you didn't have all the time in the world, you just saw 53 wins and were like, screw this, why would I even start?
Yeah.
That was the case in 20 as well. You know, there were some rewards that weren't worth getting, but I think you said it right, DBG. You were like, if you're not going to complete it, it's not worth starting.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing that changed. For it was like, anyone would just have a shot at it.
Yeah.
And I think it's the reason people got better at the game, because they kind of played without consequences, so they kept playing, right?
I don't agree with that. I think players are way better now. I think players are so much better now. Like, we didn't figure out the tween in 2K20 until, like, May. The speed glitch was found out in week 1 in 2K21. Like, I don't think we were way better now.
That's one thing that I will say. People overhate on 2K20 for the tween, but in reality, that was not common in Unlimited until like July, and it wasn't even common in MyTEAM Madness games until I had played my second MTM, which at that point it had to have been into May. So
I mean, it wasn't even. I didn't even mind it because of the tween. My issue was that like deep hash was basically unstoppable. Players got sucked into screens. Like, all you had to do was just spam crossovers in front of a screen, and a player would eventually get sucked into the screen. Hop steps, you could hop step from the 3-point line and get to the basket, and then start spamming pump fakes in the corner would drop. Even worse than this year. Like, I just think 2K20 was a game where it was literally just exploiting the game.
So your take on 22, where you're like, people are better.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think people are better. I think the people that play Unlimited are better. I think that's just been consolidated down into a core group of people that are good at this game. You go into TTO, the draft, limited, clutch time, and it's It's exactly the same combat when you saw in 2K20.
That is true. Like, again, like I'm 201 in the draft.
Yeah.
I'm something ridiculous like that. So yeah, you are probably right. It's probably just if you're in high SBMM unlimited. But it's like even when I go and play unlimited on a non-high SBMM account, I'm popping kids by 50.
Yeah.
I mean, any other mode. Where are these people in unlimited? Where are they?
Yeah.
I did a draft run in 20 minutes yesterday, or day before yesterday. I'm not exaggerating. 20 minutes. I did a clutch time tier in about 35 minutes yesterday. Like, where are these people in unlimited? Where are they? They don't even want to know. They just don't want to know.
Yeah.
It's got to be something.
The thing is like, you know, if this was like last year at this point in time, we probably would have all sat around and came up with ideas on like how to improve it. But at this point in time, it's like literally, it's been beaten into the ground. Yeah. Everybody has said their piece on what would be better. Unranked mode for 5v5 plus a weekend league.
Yeah. The only reason is that FIFA have the best possible system, where it's like I think one of the reasons why 2K's in such a bad way with Unlimited is that every mode is based around a reward card. So there has to be an endpoint at some stage. Whereas with EA, it's about constantly giving more rewards. And I understand rewards shouldn't be the purpose of playing the game mode, but you do somewhat have to be rewarded, because if you are losing MT to play the game, no one's going to play it.
Yeah.
Right. And
the format is just flawed to some whole other level.
Yeah.
Like, you could take any other format of any other mode. You could take TTO, you could take Clutch Time, you could take any of those formats, chuck Unlimited into that format, and more people will play. It's why they play the other modes. They're not afraid to try and win 10 games in TTO or try and go up a tier in Clutch Time. And, you know, the difference between the relegation aspect of Unlimited and, you know, the fact that you can't get relegated in Clutch Time gives people like a safety net, you know, that gets them playing.
Yeah, if you
we can all agree that Clutch Time's like the best format for a game mode, right? Like, win 10 games, get past the tier, don't lose 3 in a row. Occasionally people will come on my Twitch chat and be like, they need to change Clutch Time, like, like, dude, just don't lose 3 games in a row. If you're losing 3 games in a row consistently, like, respectfully, you need to practice a bit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not hard to not lose 3 games in a row. Like, I've been reset once or twice in my time too. Like, you know, and like, it is what it is. If you get reset, like, it's not hard to not get reset. It's statistically not hard. Like, if you're like a 33% chance player, if you're a 33% win rate player, you're gonna get all the way to the top. Yeah. Like, eventually, which is fine, you know, like, that's totally
the half decent player is going to have an 80% win ratio in Clutch Time, right? They're winning 4 out of 5.
We need to stop calling someone who has an 80% win rate a half decent player. Like,
the half decent player who's involved
in Clutch Time.
Half decent player who's involved in the community is the way.
Yeah, okay, fair.
I
played a starter, try young early. I'll be in that team either way.
But
it's just like the odds of losing 3 inches.
I mean,
astronomically low.
It depends. If you draw the same player 3 times in a row with someone good, like, that can happen. Or 3 out of 4 games where you get basically the same players, like.
Or you're just too lazy to do your settings or whatever too. Like, that's me most of the time, just too lazy to do my settings. Next thing I know, my corners are dropped 4 plays in a row and I'm down 12-3 and I'm like, shit, okay.
Yeah. The one thing with Clutch Time is that there needs to be something once you get to 100 wins. Like, maybe every 10 wins is like a Diamond Consumables wheel, where you have like a contract, a shoe, a 3-point speed with ball, shoe boost. So you can just constantly be going for like a 5,000 MT reward. Like, not a great reward, but like a 5,000-6,000 MT reward. And that for 10 games, because people play. Like, I will admit this, I've played Clutch Time for fun. Like, Clutch Time is the only game mode I've played for fun since 2K20.
Where Clutch Time comes in handy for me is I'll load up a game of Clutch Time when I get a down moment in work. You know, I work from home and whatnot. So, like, back before Clutch Time came out, occasionally I would load up a game of TTO in between when I got a little free time. But, like, TTO is just, well, the number one thing above any changes that I want to see in 2K23 is the Clutch Time court not being a nightclub. That's like above all, because back in 2K20, I used to like that. I was
TTO?
home, I played a
TTO,
little
you mean?
TTO. Yeah, I grind a little TTO during my downtime or whatnot. But ever since on Next Gen, where they turned TTO into a nightclub with strobe lights and dudes chopping it up on the sidelines, like no, I got to get rid of that. And even the crazy part is the offline court looks fine. They just got to get rid of that, because 90%
What would you
of the
change it
reason.
to? Would you change it to like a street court, or how would you do it?
I mean, I think the coolest way to do it would be you get to pick your court in the same way you get to pick your court for like an unlimited game, but you get to unlock courts, and then like you get like the off-brand Rucker Park after you hit 100 wins, or if you hit a certain milestone, you can unlock like a Galaxy Opal court where the court's like Galaxy Opal colored, and then if you like
Christmas
buy it
court
on the auction house, you can exactly. For like the season's level 30, you're getting a Christmas court. You can equip that as your home court. That would be so dope. Like, and as long as they're not literally nightclubs where there's purple lighting blinding you and you can't see the corners, we're good. Because I like TTO. I mean, it's the most by far. It's like literally fundamentally easier to play than 5v5 because of the more spacing. So if I just want to go brain dead and dribble around in circles, which Lord knows is probably my favorite thing to do in the game, TTO is cool. But if I can't see, it's no fun.
What do you guys think of the size of the court? Because that's a debate.
Clutch time has to be... Clutch time was fine until we got demigods. I like the smaller court till we got demigods.
I agree.
But once we got demigods, like, they're just karate chopping every lane. You just can't throw a pass.
Yeah, it reminds me of 2K20 team up with the way that you can just play any lane.
Yeah.
See, this is one of the issues we have when we discuss the game, right? Because at the end of the year, we start looking at things going, it's not as functional as it was. Can we change it for next year? I feel like that's one of those things, right?
Yeah.
People say, can we make the clutch time court bigger? But it's just because we have Taco and Yao in every lineup. And literally every lineup, because they're basically giving them to everyone.
Like, that's such a tough
Start of the year,
one.
the same thing happens.
That's such a tough one, though, because I think there's more wrong at the end of the year than it would. I think it's more of a negative at the end of the year than it would be a negative at the start of the year by making the court bigger. They should also, the way they have there's no defensive settings in TTO.
Yeah.
Just so that you can't press. They should do that in clutch time. And
I would agree.
I know corner
from Narnia, and it doesn't even make odds really, because if you turn on no help defense, it stops one angle, but it doesn't stop the other angles or mashing. So it's if they figure out a way to fix that, then I agree.
Yeah.
But until then, no. But like you're saying about the full court press is what actually kind of makes that
if full court press wasn't a thing, I don't think the Hawk and lanes would be that bad. Because you literally have to throw one pass shot, because it takes you 8 seconds to get past halfway line. You've got 6 seconds to do something.
Yeah.
The press is what really kills that mode.
My favorite thing about clutch time, I mean, obviously the timing of the game mode is cool because it's the perfect amount of time to play a quick game on your lunch break or whatever. But above all, the 4-point line is just so fun for me, anyways. The 4-point line, it's the perfect spot. It's the perfect spot where you got to time your shot to hit it. There's a skill to hitting 4-pointers in clutch time. There's not a skill to shooting 3-pointers on 2K22 at all, but there is a skill to shooting from winless. So
I exclusively shoot 4s in clutch time now. That's where I'm at.
Yeah,
I shoot 3. I'm disappointed.
I just shoot fades.
Not weak.
I just use Tyler Hero and shoot laners.
Yeah, we seen last night.
Yeah. Oh, I put up. I have a video coming out. It'll be probably coming out before this. It's using players from 12 different countries, and I choose Tyler Hero from America, and I'm for everyone in the comments, just watch what happens, and I have 28 in the first quarter against an all-in game team. But
I was just trying to think.
Choice.
Is there even that many better cards? Because Luke is the best card. I guess Jordan.
Yeah. But I just want to ask one question. I personally think that this would change so much for MyTEAM Unlimited, without being much of a negative. Making it 4-minute quarter games. Because that means that instead of playing 2 games in an hour, you can play 3 games in an hour. Which I think is a massive difference. Because if you've got half an hour...
It's a good idea.
I don't know, but they're 4-minute quarters in 250. Every game in 250 is 4-minute quarters. And nobody's really complained about not having enough time to come back in those games. And I just think for the grand scheme of things, because I don't think Unlimited should be a competitive mode. I don't think the main mode should be about comp my team because there is literally 100 competitive players in the world. They shouldn't base a game around 100 players. And I think that the ability to play 3 games in an hour instead of 2 games in an hour is huge. Is absolutely huge.
I think a better idea that solves the same problem is just adding a mercy rule. I don't think that a 5-minute quarter game ever feels too long if it's a competitive game.
Yeah,
not even like comp game, but if it's a close game, if you know what I mean, like if 2 people are playing of an equal skill level, I don't think anyone's like, dang, I'm bored during that time. I think that the 5-minute quarter only becomes an issue when it's a blowout, because then it is like, oh yeah, like this is taking forever. I just want to get on. Whether you're winning or you're losing, I mean, if you're one of those guys who refuses to quit, same thing. But like, yeah, I think that a mercy rule would solve the same problem. I think you would get through games faster too with a mercy rule. And like, dude, like a mercy rule is just like par for the course for any video game. There's so many things that 2K is years behind in. It's like not stuff that would be. I'm not a game developer, but I can't imagine it would be hard to incorporate because some of that stuff is already like in 2K. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got mercy rule to my first Madden game.
FIFA comparison as well, isn't it? That always comes up with 2K, and it's one of the things about FIFA is you just get through the games way quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
you've just got to find a way of just getting a pace of the game. Like you can genuinely feel exhausted. Like I've done 2 showdown runs, and it was exhausting. Like you feel it doesn't matter if you enjoy it or not. You're always going to hit a point where it feels like a slog, and you are having to play because you need to win a certain amount of games just to get through it. That's the feeling they got to get.
And you probably never had that feeling, Jazz, when you were playing a close game. Anytime you probably were in a close game in the third quarter, you probably didn't feel bored. You probably felt bored when you were up by 28 points against someone who won't quit. That's when you feel bored.
It's when one of them happens after the other. That's the worst. When you've had like a really intense game, and then you go into a blowout. That's when you just start going into autopilot, and your life's just ticking away, like staring at a screen. Like that's just. I don't think you should ever get that feeling from playing Unlimited. I think they've got to find a way of keeping the pacing of that mode, so that someone can jump on, make significant progress, and jump off.
I think 53 wins for a reward card is a joke, and not 53 wins for it to be the end, be all and end all. The fact that you get nothing of note up until 53 wins. Like I'm sorry, they were giving out amethyst cards in pink diamond boxes in like June.
No, I mean it's absolutely trash. Like there should be way more fun cards incorporated into reward cards throughout the year. And honestly, I don't even feel like I'm like recommending this stuff in good faith because I feel like everything about my team needs to be thrown in the trash and brought brand new. I really do.
I think level 40 is fine. I think level 40 is fine.
Level 40 might be fine, but here's my thought process on it, right? The last time that we got a true overhaul on this game mode, and I tweeted about this and got some backlash for it. The last time we got a true overhaul... No, they just added XP in level 40. They just added a battle pass on top of what we already had in 2K19.
Limited?
They just added stuff. That's all they did.
Evos?
Add stuff. Evos were added in what, 20?
20.
Yeah, they just added stuff. The last time we got a true overhaul where the game modes and the actual game mode like fundamentally changed was in 2K19. That's when they brought in tokens, they brought in unlimited, they brought in what else? A lot of stuff that's stuck in 19.
Like MyTEAM Unlimited now is just basically what we had in NBA 2K17. Except it's a seasonal thing instead of a full year thing.
I don't even remember playing 2K17 like for the rewards. I was such a casual back then. I don't even remember it entirely. All I remember is Gordon Hayward had a good card back then, and I don't think Gordon Hayward had a good card since.
Yeah. I don't know. Gordon Hayward's been chicken a few times.
But, like, wouldn't you guys just love to see the devlog come out next week and just everything be entirely brand new? New words that we've never heard.
I think it will be.
I think it will be as well. I think it's going to be.
It's so tough. Like it's so tough. For 3 years they've been developing 2 games. This is the 3rd year we're going to go into where people can't still get hold of a next gen console, which is wild and not a situation I think
They're popping up.
Any
heavy.
developer was ready
Yeah,
for.
if you want
They're
the next gen
popping up
console, you
heavy
can get
here.
an X. If
I
if
was
you
just walking
obviously
through my local store
Really?
and seeing a PS5.
If you want one, you
they're
can get
popping
one.
up heavy.
Over here, you can't.
Yeah.
Jazz,
I was
if
just
you
gonna-
want one, you
You've
can
also
get one. If you want one, you can get
You've
one.
also got people preferring current gen, which is a really big issue, especially.
They're- It's because they don't like change.
Yeah.
Nobody's
But it's a
ever
real
nobody's
problem,
ever
'cause
gone to
the
next gen and
EU
gone back to
playbase
current
is
gen.
tiny.
Nobody's ever gone back to current gen. It's just people that refuse to change because it feels like 2K20.
Yeah.
And they like
Yeah,
holding
yeah, yeah.
triangle and glitching the AI.
Which
I mean,
will be bad.
unlimited on next gen in the EU server, you're playing the same 20 people.
Yeah, it's the same on current gen though.
You might play a few more bots occasionally, just people who don't have the
Yeah.
money to get a new console and just don't care enough. But at the end of the day, about that entire thing is like, if they don't fundamentally change the game mode, that's fine. Like I don't care. Like I'm gonna play the game mode regardless. Clearly, I am locked in with my team, obviously, but I just feel like it's time to completely get rid of a lot of things that are dead weight in the game mode. Tokens, completely dead weight at this point. Like. It really is. When was the last time that a token card was good? Kyrie Irving? I mean, not good.
Tokens
but
are good. They're always good to start of the year. They're always good to start of the year.
Yeah,
Jay
but
was
like,
pretty good.
it's just dead weight though at this point. Like, take out tokens and replace tokens, or just completely redo the token market. It's been the same setup since 2K19, and like that's the perfect example of what I mean. Is like the game base, even the menus, are the same as 2K19.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the way that it's structured, like in the menu for the token cards, has been the exact same since 2K19, and they added almost no value this year. Get rid of that and replace it with somebody else, unless you guys want to actually make that stuff worthwhile. But at the same time, if you do want to make it worthwhile, now we're just moving backwards. So just get rid of it. It's dead weight. Honestly, it really is.
There's
like,
nothing
it's
that's outstayed its welcome more than domination. Like, how is that still a
Yeah. Oh my
thing? Has that ever been met with excitement? Has anyone ever,
2K
has that ever dropped and everyone's gone, let's all get domination and enjoy playing
when
the
it was
mode
the
for
only thing you could do,
17
people
hours?
played it.
Yeah.
I
Like the
don't
current.
mind domination being in the game for one reason, and that one reason is just nostalgia. That's literally it. Like, that's literally the only reason, because I remember in 2K15, who were some of the cards you would get from that? Like,
You got
like
Nate
Sapphire,
Arch,
Chandler
Nate Archibald.
Parsons.
No, it was
Yeah.
It was
Didn't
only-
you
it was
get,
literally-
Sapphire
it was-
cards along the way?
nope. You got one card from every team, and then you got Nate Archibald in the end. Sapphire
Who
Chandler
were the cards
Parsons
you would get?
was a lock-in
he
for
was
the
from-
Grizzly set. He was
Grizzly
the
set,
card
okay,
they had to
awesome.
bring in because of the shake and bake glitch.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to think back, because for whatever reason, I made a second account that year, and I remember I went to my uncle's house to live for a year because I was running track in college, and I remember he had bad internet, so I made a second account and played Domination again. So there must have been something worthwhile back then. But
Tiny
you know
Archibald
what
was
else
good.
was cool? Yeah, he was tough. And you know what else was cool in 16 is you could pick your Domination
No,
reward.
17.
Which
17.
17 it was. Was that the Steve Francis, Jerry Stackhouse? Them? Yeah.
Who was the third
Um,
player? Because nobody picked whoever the third player was. Was it like...
Was it Mark Aguirre or something? Like,
No, was it... What's his
someone.
name? Was it McDice?
it might have been. That
Was it
sounds right.
McDice? Someone in the chat will say it. I can't remember who it was,
That's
but nobody picked whoever the third one was.
Who was it?
Yeah, it was McDice apparently.
They're saying it does, yeah.
All right, yeah. But
But then
But
you could
yeah,
you could
you know
get
what-
the other cards by the way that year. If you went 12-0 in any of the tiers in my team online, the ones that you needed like to go, like you didn't need to go 12-0 to get the final Duncan award, but if you went 12-0, you got an extra domination award.
interesting. Yeah, see, I never was tough enough at the game back then to do that. Well, maybe I was, but my internet was that trash that I literally couldn't compete online like that back then. But here's one other thing I want to bring up that's entirely off topic. Well, not really, but somewhat is kind of relating to the way that you would pick your domination rewards back then. How would you guys feel if, when you hit level 40, you got to pick between 3 different cards, and the 2 that you didn't pick, you would never, ever get to have? I think that would add an interesting dynamic to the game due to the fact that there's so many talks about, everyone's lineup is the same. Everyone's got the same lineup. If there was 3 level 40 rewards, you had to pick one. Of course, most people would gravitate towards one that, whoever DBG calls the best on his YouTube channel. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, like of course most people
gonna
will.
say
But
that.
I think it would be interesting, like hypothetically, say that Steve Francis, Jerry Stackhouse, and KG were the 3 level 40s for season 1. And you got to pick between one of the 3. Like it'd be cool to like load in and be like, oh, this is a Stackhouse user. Oh, okay, this is a Garnett user. Like, and then like that would add a whole different dynamic to the teams that no one's team would ever.
Yeah.
Like, you wouldn't play the same team all the time.
I think that would be really cool, but I think there's one way I think I can make it better. Because I think not giving someone the opportunity ever isn't a good thing. I think the level 39 reward the next season. Instead of the 39 reward
like
should
that.
be for season 2, should be a season 1 option pack. And I obviously don't know bullshit like giving away out season 1 cards in like season 5. Or like in season 3. The level 30 reward, or one of the ones in the middle, is a season 1 option pack. So you can eventually, you can get, instead of getting the cards in September, you can get all 3 in December. So that if you really want them, or if they work in your lineup, you can get them along the way. And you can say if you only start the game, like for example, hypothetical situation, if you're an Australian and you really, really wanted Josh Giddey, you have an opportunity in season 7 and season 8 to grind and get a Josh Giddey. Say if it's like Josh Giddey, I don't know, and then just 2 other players and like one show and somebody else, and you missed it. You have a choice for all them, but if you really want one of them, you can still get them. Like obviously,
I like that.
I actually like the idea of there being cards that people can't get a second chance at. I think a lot of the stress and negativity that comes like from the community is from frustration that people can't get cards. And it's funny because like people will complain about not getting an RNG card, for example, after playing 300 games. There's like an entitlement, right? There's like, we're entitled to that card.
Hey, I played 1,000 for Terry. When you play 1,000 games for Terry Dishinger talk, when you spend every waking hour playing for Terry, you played 400. I played 1,000.
But that's the problem.
I got one clutch time reward. I got one clutch time reward in 2,000 wins this year. I got one, and it was Gilbert Arenas. He sucked.
But we should know by now that we're not getting those rewards.
Okay.
Not when I got him. Not when I got him. I got him like near the end of the season.
Yeah, no, he was okay. I feel like he was a little bit underrated.
He was fine if you got him when he came out, but not when I got him.
He was fine, yeah. He was fun to use. But I think we've got to get to a point where we're kind of okay with not getting a card, because like unlimited is the only exception to that, right? Where people are like completely okay with not getting whatever the unlimited card is because they don't want to go near it. But there is an entitlement that comes with every other card. So I think 2K introducing that not only give more original lineups, like Jacob said, but also it kind of get us used to the fact that we're not going to get every card.
Every card.
It's good. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I remember
when 2K based
people talking on Twitter about
when 2K based their whole game around card collection. Like the whole game's based around card collection though. Like more like you can even see it with like the sniping challenge and everything. Card collecting is the main purpose of the game mode. It's not playing the game.
Yeah.
Even 2K wanted to be a card collecting mode as much as anything. There's a reason why we've got 4 versions of the same card. Why we got NBA 75th and 2 Signature Series versions of Kobe Bryant and Magic Johnson, like when they came out.
Look at the end games.
Yeah, like it's a card collecting mode.
Of every card.
Like it's more so, and like you can even just see in our chat right there, Mr. Hollow himself. Like the main thing of the game mode is card collecting. So if 2K get rid of the ability to collect every card, you cut off a lot of the fan base. Because there's a lot of fan base that don't necessarily care about playing the game. Like I think most people that get level 40 are just doing XP to get the card. They're just doing XP it's an RPG game. So I think if you take out the card collecting aspect of the game by like making it certain cards that they can never ever get, I think that'll turn off more players than it helps. I don't think it's going to...
Do you not think that those people already won't get the unlimited card and they seem to be completely okay with that as the exception?
The unlimited's different because it actually, like... You can put... Like, if you are not good enough to get the unlimited card, you can put in unlimited amount of hours and you're not going to get them. It's the only card in the game where that's the case.
Yeah.
I think every other card in the game, if you want them, you can get them.
I mean, they did it this year with like limited option packs.
Yeah, but
And Boban
who
and
cares? Who
who's the other
cares
one?
about limited? I'm sorry. OG Anunoby.
Yeah.
But like they've never made
That
one of those
was-
cards, those limited cards, good. They all sucked. They all sucked.
Yeah, that's true.
Like Boban was
Does a
an
card
leader.
collector care if they're good? Does a card collector
You're
care
right.
if
You're
they're
right.
good?
You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right.
They just want the card, right?
You're right. Yeah, maybe I'm just looking at it from a different perspective because I did not give a damn about limited this year.
You know what the funny thing is, though? The next season, they gave you the option to go back and get that card, right?
Oh, sorry.
So the one
Yeah,
that you
my
didn't
exact
get.
my exact thing. You could get him if you wanted them the next season.
No, but the problem is, if you went back and got those cards, you have to give up the ones from that season.
Yeah.
So you have to give up the card either way.
Yeah, you're
so,
right.
yeah, they kind of tried to resolve it, but they didn't. Yeah, I just think like it's something we got to get. Unless someone's going for like the 4,000 cards, like, we just got to be okay with not getting the card. That's why I played 400 games of Marquee.
Yeah.
Like, didn't even need it. It's
Yeah.
just the psychology we have that we must have the card.
I got turned off so much when I went through 10 draft boards and not got Glenn Robinson. And I think one of the big problems with RNG cards is that you might spend 100 hours on the card and you might see someone get him in 5 minutes.
Yeah, RNG is an issue. I mean, it's a whole separate.
Yeah.
I mean, probably something we should talk about, right? Like, it just. Do you think it should go completely, or do you think it needs to be
I
toned down?
think the only issue with the RNG cards is that with the way 2K make Unlimited and Clutch Time have an endpoint, if there was no RNG cards, people would complete the season in 4 days. Like, not many people, but some people could complete the season in 4 days if they know life the game. And whereas in FIFA, it's constantly updating rewards, there's SBCs. Like in FIFA, you really need your fodder cards. Like these 85 overall cards that suck in game. You need them for the equivalent of exchanges. And you have all of these things that are going on. But it's like, in 2K, there's no reason. Every fodder card is useless. Like every gold card in the game
What you're
is
saying
useless.
is like RNG is effectively a replacement for like daily content. Right?
Yes,
That's what you're saying,
RNG is a replacement for 2K's. Yeah, for 2K actually keeping content up to date. Because if you removed RNG, the game mode would be significantly worse.
It's so accurate as well. It really is. Like that is what it is.
Like that's
Yeah.
the big issue. Is that like you shouldn't need RNG in the game. There's no RNG rewards in FIFA. There's no RNG because they will constantly give us new content every day. It's something to work towards. But in 2K, we might get something to work towards. Other than season 6 and other than season 6, we basically got something to work towards once every 3-4 weeks. And it was a 3-hour grind, so you could complete it in 3 hours and you have nothing to do for 3 weeks if you didn't want to play Unlimited. So you had to grind for the RNG rewards.
Yeah. I mean, I said this the other day. Like, what they won't get away with this year is dropping domination and then 2 months later dropping another domination and calling that grindable content. Like, they do things in between, and they have kind of broken it up this year with Zero Gravity. They did the weekend events and done things that at least I think was one of the best things they did this year. It's got to be daily. I think if it's not daily, they're just going to fall so far behind the other AAA side.
Yeah,
I mean,
daily content is a must.
The daily content, like the biggest thing that I could hear that would just be music to my ears is them saying that we've took a note from the community and realized that during the Zero Gravity season of last year, that daily content's a hit. So we're going to drop a new card every day. Like that would be music to my ears because just even having something to look forward to on the database every day is huge. Absolutely huge. And by the way, DBG, I'm not sure what happened with my webcam on your screen, but shouldn't be here. Jazz, can you see me?
Yeah, you're back.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, I had to take my camera off there because Zeke was kind of going nuts. So
Yeah, no worries. One of the best new additions this year was Moments of the Month. Oh, I fully agree. Because it was my damn idea.
Dude, they say the Team Takeover podcast doesn't have power to change the game. Well, I think you can find a Team Takeover podcast from somewhere around December where we constructed what they made.
But it was literally like
mostly you, but you know me.
I made a video.
Yeah.
I made a video going in depth about exactly what they need to do, and I was like pointing out all these games. Like, well, DeRozan's had his ball now. We need DeRozan as a reward. It's like no one's opening packs of DeRozan. Let's make him a grindable reward. Get people involved. And like 2 days later, like Moments of the Month, DeRozan. And like I had said all this, right? It was before Sam tweeted the vacation tweet. So I was like, they were still on vacation when I said all of that. There was no way that wasn't planned. That was planned prior to that. I was like, oh. I'm like, if you're going,
it's actually something they did quite well, like all year. To be honest,
Yeah.
that is the one thing that gives me real optimism about 23. Is they did listen. Like
there's
they
never
got the 100 they blew it day one.
they've never
fixed
not
it.
they've never not listened. They've never not listened.
I think they leveled it up this year. I think they took some quite big stuff. I think before that, I don't think they acknowledged stuff. I think they would just leave their head buried in the sand and just let the community complain.
I strongly disagree. Maybe I'm in a position that in the past, I would have regularly talked to Stouffer. Like I talked to Sam a little bit. I know how in touch these guys are with the community. I know how much they're watching everything. Which has been to my detriment because I've definitely said things they don't like and it's gotten me straight onto the blacklist. But I know they do watch and they do listen. So like that's one thing I will never... They mightn't make a decision.
They reacted more then.
I think they just don't make the overall decisions because
Yeah.
if they had brought in Sam and said, "Dude, go crazy, bring us your toughest ideas," and he got 40 hours of paid per week to come up with his ideas and implement them to the game, I think that we would have been further along and probably implemented some good stuff because I know Sam on a personal level. The dude knows his stuff.
Yeah,
like he's not a bot when it comes to like my team content. Like he's smart and like. I guarantee you, like, because I know Sam well enough that, like, the one drop that sticks out to me like a sore thumb in my head is that Brian Reeves and Keith Van Horn drop. Do you guys remember that? Because that was the one drop this year. That was the one drop this year where I was like, I want to call this lazy. I want to call this incompetent. But something is going on behind those curtains that I can't see because there's no other explanation. Because I know people who actually played this game would see that and be like, are we serious right now? Like, those were worse than the day one cards. Like, there's Ruby day one base set cards better than those cards. And that was coming out during a point in time when, like...
It replaced Paul Silas, didn't it? Oh, no, sorry, it didn't. Who
the TTO.
No, it didn't.
Someone who was good.
It replaced someone good because... Strickland replaced Silas. Strickland sucked as well.
Yeah, well, that Paul Silas was the dopest card of this year. Well, that might be gassing it, but like he's top 10 like favorite cards for me this year. I saw you made that video today. Paul Silas isn't that for me.
Yeah,
but,
I never got him.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like we can dwell on what's happened in the past year and everything, but I do have a lot of hope about this year.
Yeah,
and the reason for that is a couple different things. Is one, the My NBA news was so good. The
Jordan challenges.
It's like it seems like they're gonna take like a big step forward this year. And if my team comes out and says level 40's back, unlimited's back, limited's back, clutch time is back, we're doing everything the same, but we added 3 new things. I
want everybody.
I'll still play the game, but I will not be happy.
I want
the gameplay change.
I want everyone to watch my 3 videos. My reacting to the dev blog. And then when I realized that the draft wasn't a real draft, I made another video. Because the only thing I was really positive about in the dev blog was the draft. I made another video going back on it. And it's literally me reading the dev blog and I'm like, this is the same mode with gimmicks. They just added gimmicks. And they ruined the one mode that didn't need to be touched. Like, I know for a fact that the development for 2K22 MyTEAM was a nightmare. As in, they just had so little time to implement everything. Like, they really cut it down.
Fluff.
No, but it was like...
It feels like they just added things on, right? They just kind of glued things on, right? Oh, we can grade a card and...
It was
just... Joe, but you can get a hollow. There were just little things that they kind of added on.
Yeah.
And it just felt... Like, when it came out, it just felt the same.
But I
just felt the same.
Well, that goes back to what I was saying about literally everything we have right now is built on the 2K19 base. Clearly, everything we have has nothing to do with 18. Supermax is gone. The menus are different. We literally are
draft. Draft is just packing playoffs too.
That's true, and they kept the game files in the game. We saw that in 2K21 during 250K because when you load into a game in 250K, it would say pack and playoffs. They had the game files saved and they copy and pasted them over. But that's the only thing. I mean, we're literally playing 2K19.4.
Do you know if you do you know
what
happens?
A lot of stuff added.
If you have a custom core, and then you remove the logo off their database,
it says 2K16.
2K16.
Yeah, and I tweeted about that today. Is they've literally 2K16's court builder, when introduced to the game, is the exact same now with nothing added and nothing removed. It's literally the exact same.
If
you go on 2K16, which you can't do anymore because the servers are down, it works, but honestly, they shouldn't even have it in the game because it causes more problems than it solves. Yeah. But if you go into the 2K16 hypothetically and look at jersey design number 19, and then go on 2K22 and look at jersey design number 19, it's literally the exact same thing. Like you said, it works, but at the same time, it's like
we've seen it. It's like,
are we serious?
Being new would be good.
I think
you guys can't add new jersey designs or something over the course of like. I'm not asking new jersey designs every year, but I mean, dude, like when those jersey designs came out, I was 18. I'm 26 now. Like, come on.
I'm a big believer of the if it ain't broke, don't fix it, because we saw what happened when they tried to fix something that wasn't broke with the 100. Like, they released the worst.
But jersey designs are broke though, DBG. They are broke. They've been broke since 2K16.
What's wrong with them since 16?
People make white home jerseys and
there's no way to stop that though.
They tried. They don't let you. They like say like jerseys are unavailable because you already have this colorway in your uniform loadout. But the colors don't even match. DBG, I know you're colorblind. You probably don't notice, but the colors don't even match. Like, I will have a green jersey, a blue jersey, and try and pick a red for my third, and it will say the colors don't match. Like, it's literally broken.
What?
Like,
but a better question is, why can we not set the jerseys before the game? We could do that in
every other game. I asked two bros about that before, obviously, the situation, and he replied. His response was, it's been a conversation. Adding a jersey select screen is way, way more difficult than it seems. I'm like, it's in every other game. It's in play now.
DBG,
it's in play now.
What was the first FIFA that had it? Not FIFA 98. Was it FIFA 98?
Yeah. I mean, you can do it.
Going like nearly 3 decades.
You can do it in Play Now Online. You can literally do it in Play Now Online.
You can, yeah.
And you know what? It's fair. It's fair if they say, back when you DM'd him, back in probably 2K19 and asked that, and he said that. If he said, yeah, you know what? We're aware of that. It's a hard change. We probably can't get that in 2K20. Fair. It's 2K23 now. You've had 5 years. If you can't figure out in 5 years, that's where the issue is.
But like
that is where the issue is.
This year
they do it next year, fine. But that was brought to their attention.
This year's even worse.
7 years ago?
The 3 jersey thing makes jersey clashes even more common. Because it doesn't match up the jerseys right. So sometimes it'll match blue with blue. 2 different shades of blue. Because they're like, one of them's a light. One of them's technically like a white. Closer to white. And one of them is slightly darker. And I'm like, I'm colorblind. I'm like, I'm matching up the same jerseys. I have to use like specific jerseys that have weird designs on them. So that I can tell my jerseys. Because like, I used to get jersey clashes once a week. Now I get a jersey clash every day that I play the game.
It's just so common. It's so common.
Yeah.
It happens like
it was
way
made
too often.
But like, that's the thing where I'm like, there's only one way to fix. There's only one way to fix it, and it's a jersey select screen. And that's one of the things that annoy me is they brought in this whole new concept of alternate jerseys, and they were like, we're going to fix jersey clashes, and actually just made it worse. Like, there's one very, very obvious way to fix it. There is one really obvious way to fix it, and they won't implement it.
What's that?
Or do what FIFA do.
The select screen.
No, do what FIFA do. Do you know you can preset your opponent's jerseys every single game? So you can set your own home jersey, your jerseys, and your opponent's jerseys every game. So every game, your opponents will play in the same jerseys. So if you don't want to see... But like, you can let them pick their own jerseys, or you can choose their jersey on your end. So if you don't want to see custom courts or custom jerseys, and you don't want to see like custom arenas, you can set it on your side of FIFA, being like, I only want to play in my home gym. I only want... I want to wear this jersey. It was like, I want to wear a black jersey, no matter what. My opponent wears this random team's white jersey.
And then it shows up on their game as the opposite of whatever they want.
Yeah, so they get to choose what they want, you get to choose what you want.
Yeah. And like at the end of the day, you know what I mean? If they can't implement that in a year, that's fine, but this has been an issue for like 7 years, and that's where the issue lies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if they in 2K19 told you we can't implement that next year, that's fair, but after like 4 or 5 years, like and it's just bad. I mean, at this point. And then the court builder with like the white courts and the black courts.
The no 3-point line.
The no point, yeah, which made for a funny Kid Med video, but I mean, like it's just bad that that's had no attention over the past 8 years.
Who was it? Who was it that played in 250 without a 3-point line?
7 years.
Someone played in the 250k tournament without a 3-point line.
I've seen some bad custom courts in 250k, but I've never seen a no 3-point line. I might have missed that. Who knows?
Do you remember the
probably was when?
Do you remember the Shadow Realm game?
Hardly.
Someone played in 250 with an invisible
Hardly because your stupid bingo card had me blacked out by 6 p.m.
That was... Oh, Jacob, you went way too hard. Like, I just remember...
I had no want or need to drink that much. It was because you had score every time a diamond player scores, and literally everybody had Bull at power forward.
I mean, all you had to do was not take giant gulps. I was drinking as well.
Nah, that bingo card was cursed, dude. Bull literally ran that tournament, and it was a drink every time he scored.
It wasn't even that he scored a lot. It was like whenever someone scored a Bull. Do you remember the game? It was only one game where it was bad. It was like Bull scores, Bull scores, Bull scores, Bull scores. It was like 7 plays in a row. Bull scored.
You went on like an 8-8 run Bull versus Bull, and next thing I know, I'm talking about my taxes. Like,
oh, that was so. I remember I was like considering uploading like that day onto YouTube, and I remember just thinking, I was like, I upload. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna leave it unlisted, and I'm gonna sleep on it and see if I should upload. I'm like, nope. This cannot be uploaded.
I remember I woke up the next day, and like the first thing I woke up, I like totally felt like, well, hungover. I was like, oh, all right, let's get out of bed. And I thought about stuff. I was like, I have to check Twitter.
I muted.
Like, went on there.
By the way, I had you were muted for probably most of the bad stuff you said.
Yeah, I figured that after the fact.
Yeah.
But I had like a wrench in my stomach. I'm like, am I ever gonna be able to stream again? Because I had no idea at that point. I was like, am I ever gonna be able to stream again?
It was fine.
And then like I kind of like read stuff, and I talked to a few people who were like, nah, you were fooling, but you're fine.
Yeah,
I was like,
no.
Right, yeah.
No,
Like,
I basically
to fight another day.
Yeah, anytime someone said something that I thought was even close to being out of pocket, I muted everything. Because like you weren't as bad. It was Wall that I had to make sure you didn't mute. Wall went on an unhinged rant about the devs with Sam listening. I'm literally like, mute. I'm like, yeah. I'm having to like I'm having to be the voice of reason. I'm hammered. And like when during the tie situation, because half the community's in my chat, there's like 6,000 people watching. I'm having to be the voice of reason for like the community, trying to like, because it's not Sam's fault. Sam tweeted something really dumb, saying it was like COVID sucks, which is a really dumb tweet because it was nothing to do with not being in person. It was like not making any sort of like exception where he could find a worse account and stuff like that. Like that's where the issue was, and it was like the COVID sucks tweet really got people on him. But it's like it was not the dev's fault. It wasn't even 2K's fault, to be honest.
The only way I can see that through his eyes is like he probably may have thought, if this was in person, I would maybe have the power to speak to people quickly and efficiently in person to make changes. But since this is overline, like maybe he knew the person that needed to be spoken to, and then he like messaged them and like couldn't get in touch with them or something. Maybe in his mind he was like, if we were all right here, like I can make things happen quicker.
Oh no, like
that's the only reason I can think of that.
Like I know he 1,000,000% had like he didn't say anything out of bad intentions, and like it read really bad. And like I was talking to him afterwards, it read really bad.
Yeah,
and like
for what was going on at that point in time,
where it's like you're the best player.
If it didn't come across as sarcastic, it would have been fine.
Yeah,
it's the fact that it came across as sarcastic. Otherwise, he was right, really.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, it was bad timing as much as anything as well. Like, all they had to say was, "We are trying to sort out this situation. We will update. We will update Ty when there's an update, something along those lines." But like, there was nothing he could have said to have calmed things down. But it would have eventually blown over, because when cooler heads prevailed, when the kind of emotion of it went, people realized, there's like not really much they can do. It's not their fault. But like, half the people there were watching to watch specifically Ty. And when Ty can't play, and it's not even that he lost, he literally couldn't play. There's obviously going to be some uproar.
What do you guys think is happening with 250 this year?
Same
That's
thing.
something that hasn't been discussed yet.
They're not changing. They're
Think
not
it's gonna be
changing exactly the same. Yeah, of course. It cost them almost $0 to run the whole tournament.
Do you think it'll be in person this year, though?
The final, maybe.
I do.
But like the final should have been in person this year. They flew out the commentators. I understand not bringing 32 people out this year, but the final should have been.
I think the challenge with bringing the players out is they could have been global, right? And there were still restrictions in place with travel and things like that. It would have been a more complicated process.
I don't think there's a 0% chance
year.
that they bring over 64 players. I think they bring the 4 finalists.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think it'll be in person. Yeah, I mean they're doing an event, aren't they, soon? So, and obviously people are going out to that. So there's no reason why they shouldn't.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be good. I think that'll be very good.
But you say that, but they brought out they flew out commentators last year, but not the players. They had multiple commentators.
They were all from the States, weren't they?
They were all obviously no one's ever going to make it that's not from the States, unless it's Canada. Actually, Joe Mar's Puerto Rico, but nobody outside of North America is ever going to make it. Yeah, no offense to any of the European guys, we're not good enough over here. Like, no, but it's like the top European guys the top European guys are really damn good. Like, they would still be... The best European player is probably the 15th, 16th best player in the world. But, like, Jacob's muted and talking to himself right now.
He looks nuts.
He's talking to himself right now.
He's fixing it. Yeah. No, I don't know. Like, I think that's something that has to happen.
I was about to say, tap your mic.
Yeah, no, 1 second, though. What I was going to say, though, about that is, like... For one, is like Europe is good, but not good enough to make Final Four. That's
that's no question.
Like I could, if I was in Europe, I very well could have been the best player there when I was in my prime. But
2K21, yes, not at any stage this year. Vardo was him.
Not at any stage.
Vardo was him.
Not this year. I probably still could have been top 5 though.
I ran into him in Unlimited.
Yeah,
and it was hell. It was literal hell.
Yeah,
I played him. I can't remember what month I played him. I ran into him in like April. I just saw Vardo pop up. And I was like, I'm going to try. I was literally out of that game within.
Vardo is a top 15 player in the world.
I've never experienced anything like that.
The one thing I will say, though, is like, since getting into Madden a little bit over the past couple days, is like, they have a big money tournament, like, this weekend, like 3 or 4 days after launch. And I just wish, like, it's not even about money for 2K. I just wish that they had the ability or whatever to run more tournaments, because it's like, it's just lame to me how it's just one. That's just like not cool to me.
It's too much money. And it costs more to run those tournaments. It costs more to run those tournaments than it does in prize money.
Then they give away.
Madden pay.
Why does Madden do it then? Why does Madden do it?
Because it's EA. If NBA Live was even 50%, if 2K and NBA Live were dead heat even, EA would be putting these events on for NBA Live. 2K have a monopoly. It makes no odds. They can run all these competitive tournaments. They're not going to make 1 cent extra and run 250.
It is true. It is true.
Like,
I mean, it was great for the hype of the community.
Yeah, but it's not going to make sense. It's not going to make them another cent though. Like, that's the issue. Is like. Not. It's all about.
I think it can keep player attention for long enough that it's hard to quantify that stuff. It's like almost impossible to quantify that stuff. How do you know when someone busts a 450 if they're going for 250 or not? Like, there's people who I know that I've seen in my Twitch chat who are not good enough to even qualify, let alone win the thing. Who are talking about, I want to qualify. I'm gonna buy packs so I can qualify. Like, how you can't quantify it, you know what I mean? You can't put a price tag on it, so it's like they just gotta give their best guess.
Yeah,
it's impossible to quantify.
That is a fair point, actually. Yeah, that is a fair point. You know, people
never know.
They're not.
Yeah.
Do you think they're gonna take?
I remember one guy specifically who kept just like talking about, I'm going to qualify for 250. I'm a top 20 player right now. And, like, he wasn't anywhere close to that. He kept talking about it. He kept talking about, I'm going to get the best team. Who should I get? This and that. Like, you just don't know who's opening packs for the purpose of winning money. And if they had a 50K early bird tournament that was in October, and if they had a 50K endgame tournament that was in July, like, they'll never be able to for real quantify how much money they profit from that. But
I think
I
they
just
would.
think that at the end of the day, it would create retention. It would create retention out of the people that they do know for a fact play the game for competitive reasons. It would create retention because right now, half of the people who qualify for 250, once 250 is over, they are off the game.
But that doesn't.
They're not streaming it anymore. They're not playing it.
Those people aren't going to spend their money after 250. After 250 is when the dark matter start to come in. When the casuals start, the game goes on sale is when people spend their money no matter what.
But if there was an end game tournament though, would they keep playing it?
No.
And then the bigger question is, I think if there was a 50K tournament in July, people would keep playing it.
I think more people would.
50K, I think 50K is enough for them to keep playing it. And then I also think that most of those guys stream, and I think that there's a little bit of a trickle down effect. I mean, who knows? I don't know. You don't know. There's no way to quantify it, like what the actual impact is. There's like no legitimate way. Like none of us can say for sure. Yeah. But like at the end of the day, what's 50K to Take-Two Interactive? I don't know. They're valued at like 26 billion or something. Like
it's obviously nothing. It's not the money that's the issue. It's the manpower. Like they're not going to put in the. They're not going to put in the effort.
To run a 50K tournament that's all virtual. How much does it cost to run a virtual tournament?
It's not running it. It's making sure it's running a tournament without the crap that's been happening already. Like I think I could see them scrapping 250 very soon if the situation happens. If it keeps happening, the crap that we've seen the last 2 years. Like it has been nothing but bad PR for 2K.
They outsourced it this year, didn't they?
They've all, as far as I'm aware, from someone that previously worked with 2K, that a lot of it is outsourced. And also, they very much state that 2K is only the sponsor of the event in the rules. So again, I'm not guaranteeing anything. I'm just relaying what I heard from someone who used to work for 2K.
Right, and at the end of the day, though, too, like think about it this way, though. There are people that work within Take-Two who have a personal, I don't even know the right word for it, like a personal want to see that type of stuff happen. Like they want to see their gameplay be competitive. Like they want that to be a competitive thing. You know what I mean? Like
there are a lot of people that don't as well.
That's true, but I've worked in gaming for a little bit now, like as far as like a professional career, and like people within the companies, like they want to see that type of stuff, like themselves. Like they want to see that because they see a future in it. Because they see, you know,
they don't
like League of Legends just announced today.
You say a barrier to it,
but you say that. You say that. There's not one. There's not one gameplay. There's not one gameplay dev. There's not one developer that wants to watch corners dropping and mashing. They want the game to be competitive, but the game, as every sports game competitively, is a game of exploits, and every 2K dev hates when people exploit their game. So they would rather not see exploits.
The mechanics on display.
Yeah, like that's the thing.
Well, there's
like,
no gameplay. There's no gameplay devs who are public facing besides the Czar, and like the Czar seems like a really cool dude. He seems like the type of guy that I would love to have a good conversation with about stuff that's not even 2K related. But at the end of the day, there's more people on the team who probably are interested in like esports and stuff. I would imagine, like every gaming company, as far as I can tell, does. Like
the issue,
I've talked to people in a lot of these other companies.
I mean, like it's literally booming. It's literally booming. Like it was the fastest growing sport in the world 2 years ago.
But not 2K.
Right? Yeah, and now it's on the downcline. It's on the downcline 2K, after that. But that's like.
But like 2K is different,
you know.
2K is different.
Like, never even caught the wave.
There's no reason. There's no reason why the number one 250K stream, every single qualifier is me, and I'm not even playing. That shouldn't be the case. I just watch the game, like you can
DVG.
see.
The reason why people don't watch you because you're playing unlimited while everyone else is playing 250. That's not how you're making it sound. Like people are watching you because they know that you're gonna recap everything that needs to be known.
Yeah, that be your commentary. Fair. Yeah.
Like, it's not like it'd be different if you were playing clutch time and you were getting more viewers than like people who were actually participating in the qualifiers. That's not the case. They're watching you because they want to know what's going on. Yeah. I mean, like, I get it. It's not big, but at the end of the day, there's potential there for it to be bigger. And I think that 2K probably wants to create whales, and one of the best ways to create whales is by putting up money and making people believe that they can make that money back, even if they can't. Yeah. It's almost like Carnival, you know? Put up money, people think that they can make that money, they actually can't. They spend money to make it, they don't get it. Like, it's a tried and true business model from like from non-video game stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm personally with it, and I'm never even qualified. But that's what keeps me playing, That's what keeps me playing, is the idea of that.
Do you guys reckon it's going to be exactly the same? You think qualifiers are going to be the same? You reckon?
I do.
0% chance it changes. It would have changed already if there were.
Why?
Yeah.
They've had the same qualifier for 4 years.
The one thing that they can
added
do,
an extra one this year, didn't they?
the one thing they can do that they already have the files to do is the Terrell Brandon thing, but actually make the cards good, which I think would be really interesting. If I qualified, what did I get? 16th this year once and 21st once or whatever. If I got cards for doing that, good, tough cards that nobody else can have, and that kind of goes back to our point about getting cards that nobody else can get.
Yeah.
That's cool. At the end of the day, I beat 11 Assass and I finished 12. Darn. Well, at least I got this really dope Galaxy Opal card that nobody else got. That's cool. That's really cool. And they have the ability to do that because they've done it before, and Lord knows that 2K loves to recycle old stuff, so throw that back in.
Yeah, but
throw that back in. If you're gonna do nothing, do that.
Do you remember who those cards were? Terrell Brandon and Byron Beck.
I don't, because I didn't play back then.
They were the worst cards in the game.
Apparently they sucked, yeah.
Terrell Brandon, a 5-10 point card.
If they made those cards good, though, that's fun. If everyone who qualified top 100 got one of the best cards that day in the game for qualifier 1, that's fun, It is. It's fun, at the least.
This is where it gets interesting, some of the stuff we were talking about earlier, how this could, impact this. Without changing anything, it could change. Just by, introducing things like mercy rules and things like that, the whole qualifying system could feel just way better overnight.
Yeah, I think we should move on. We should move on.
The qualifiers.
I think we should move on from 250 because it's been a broken term for 4 years, and I can guarantee you it's going to be a broken term for 4 more years. They're not changing anything. We can have all this discussion as much as you want. We know. Are we all in agreement 2K aren't going to change anything when it comes to that?
Oh, I don't think they will.
I'm not sure. I'm waiting to see.
DBG, I think that
0%.
DBG, I think that you have more pull in that, and I think that you saying that makes it a 0% chance.
I mean, the game's coming out. The game's coming out in 20 days. The game's coming out in 20 days.
It's not changing now. It's changing now. I just mean over the past 2 years. I think that if I'm obviously never gonna tell you to take an issue with something that you don't have an issue with.
I do have a huge issue with 250k. Have you? That's again another reason I'm even further on the blacklist was because of all the crap I talked about the 250k tournament not working. I've made more 250k complaint videos than anyone, including Ty.
Obviously, DBG, they are hawking your channel, and they found the most creative way in years to outbeat you this year by offering 6 Dark Matter locker codes. I think if you took strong issue with that, you might be the only person that can get this thing changed, But what can you know what I mean? What can you really do? If you really push the issue and after the fact of that tournament and then just went ham at it, dropping video after video after video about how bad the press is, especially if one of your videos got picked up by Kotaku or one of those gaming outlets, that's how the change would start. But,
it kind of has been picked up. Herb's picked up a few of them. Good old Herb. Yeah. Herb has picked up a few.
Yeah. I think when Ty got locked out of his account, that kind of got picked up by Jake Lucky or whatever. Jake Lucky, is it? Yeah. And if that's the kind of stuff,
I think Ty getting locked out of his.
The thing though is they might see that see that and just say screw it, we're ending it too. So
I think the one thing that if something changes, the one thing that's going to change it is not nothing I say. It's Ty getting locked out. I think Ty. I think if Ty doesn't win on next gen, there's a 95% chance things change. Because it's a feel good story now. Ty came back to win on next gen. So it all got swept under the rug. But if Ty didn't win...
if Ty was still locked out throughout the whole weekend, something would have changed. I agree.
Yeah.
It was a disaster this year. Absolute disaster with RCA, Nike, these people that, the people who are in the community wanted to see play, weren't able to play. It was a disaster.
RCA had the whole thing recorded. He literally posted breakdown videos of all of his games. I don't know
they
how.
Just had they had an X number of points. You can't beat someone by 90 points. I think that's what it was. It was 90 points.
Yeah.
And that's just stupid because there should be a mercy rule in the 250K. We've all played 250K. I think Jazz says too, right? Like we've all played 250K for whatever reason. The bots are out and hot during 250K for whatever reason. I don't know. But...
No SPMM.
That was the point I was just making. Like I said, if they introduce things like the Mercy rule into Unlimited, it will naturally come into 250K as well. I think things will change. I don't think the tie situation would have changed anything though, because I don't think that was a situation that was avoidable in any circumstance.
No,
like, what would be the scenario where that wouldn't have been a problem?
That was as much on Xbox as it was on.
No,
2K,
it was nothing to do with 2K, but it brought to light.
Xbox.
It was nothing to do with what 2K did on the day, but it showed that is not how you run a competitive tournament. You don't run a competitive tournament with this. Like in any other competitive tournament. Because Ty had hours to fix it. Ty got locked out 2 hours before his game. In any other competitive tournament, there would be some sort of compromise made. 2K would have gotten it made. 2K would have made a dev account. They would have, because Ty posted his lineup. Ty posted what his lineup was right before he went. There would have been a dev account with that lineup, or they would have just given him base versions of every one of his cards. Like there would have been, like it would have been fair too. There was like. The situation was that 2K on their day couldn't do anything because it was very clear in their rules that they couldn't do that. But it was showed a huge flaw in the tournament that like there were things that could have got Ty to play, but 2K from the crap that they never changed from 2K19 changed it. But it was also like Ron World didn't play. He sold his account. We all knew he sold his account. The devs knew he sold his account. Like it was literally the account qualified under the name Ron World and had a different name. We all know who Ron World is. He's a streamer. He streamed qualifying. And he had put in... There was a completely random person's name in the form. Like, surely that's a DQ. More so than Danny who got stream sniped. Like...
The whole entire
system... The qualifiers are a mess. The qualifiers are just a mess.
Like, Danny and Splash got stream sniped.
Like a positive reaction.
They literally got stream sniped. I was like, what happens if somebody...
There's never been a positive reaction coming out of qualifiers. It's always just carnage. Always,
but like,
I
asked someone, and I was like, "What are players meant to do?" I was like, I played qualifier too, and I remember asking someone, I'm not going to say who, but I was like, "What happens if I get stream sniped and I'm live?" And they were like, "We don't know." And I was like, and someone was letting me score every possession. Like they literally were like, "We don't know." And I was like, "So do I have to quit?" And they were like, "No, you don't have to quit the game." I was like, "So if I score every possession," it was like, "Yeah, no, you'll be disqualified." I'm like. So I'm done.
There's no way.
So I'm done. So I'm disqualified. I'm done. I have to start running out the shot clock. Because I have to win a game 2-0. And that is the mad thing. If you get stream sniped, you were disqualified last year. And they set that precedent disqualifying Splash and Danny. Like Splash on his stream was getting stream sniped and he was like, "Guys, just quit the game. Quit the game. Like what are you doing?" Even when people were letting him score. He was just quit.
Yeah.
I think the way to summarize this is from the competitive side of 2K to the MyTEAM game mode itself, everything about everything that we play as far as this game goes is miles behind where it should be. We all enjoy the game and we're going to play it regardless to an extent, but we just want to see everything improved, and everything internally from 2K moves so slow that it's very frustrating.
Yeah.
I think that's like the best way to summarize everything that we've talked about today, because I feel like we've just dogged on the game for like an hour.
But like at the same time,
it's been a good year. Like it's been a good year.
Yeah, it has been.
I disagree. I think this was the worst 2K that I've experienced since.
Yeah, I know you've got a strong reaction to it, but like I think because like I kind of said this, they there was points where I won't say they fixed things, but they patched things. And it felt like they were listening in a way they weren't before. Like I said, they came out the gates with TTO 100. Then we've asked for quick match for years, and suddenly Season 3 out of nowhere.
You get clutch time,
Clutch time drops. And I just think they've done things throughout the year. Like Zero Gravity was pretty fresh. They had events that hadn't been done before. It felt a little bit fresher than certainly 2K21.
Zero Gravity and Clutch Time were absolutely huge. Those were huge because if it wasn't for the Zero Gravity Daily Rewards and Clutch, I think I might have quit playing the game.
Yeah.
To be real, because outside of that, there was really nothing to like call home about as far as new stuff goes. And also, too, as far as the gameplay, which we haven't really gotten into, I have not a good opinion on that. And then people talk about the pacing being good this year. The pacing was actually the worst it's ever been.
We got nothing in it, everything.
Yeah, exactly. We had the Kembe shooting threes on day 1. Boom. Okay, so you ruined the realism on not day 1, day 7. You ruined the realism right off bat.
We had 2 months with no centers.
And then we struggled. Yeah, then we struggled
until D-Rob, we had 2 months with nothing.
Then we had struggled for no point guards for months on months on months, and then you give us the 4 best point guards in one day with Lonzo, Jalen Rose, Derrick Rose, and whoever else. That dropped. And then all of a sudden after that, we're getting no cards with 30 or 40 Hawk badges. Boom, here comes a 65 Hoffer, Scottie Pippen Invincible. No one's getting SIGs. No one's getting SIGs. Bang. Here's Wilt Chamberlain, the first card who has like the right SIGs. Like, it just made no sense. I don't understand where people come about. I don't understand why people come about with like the good pacing. I think the only reason why that's like a word on the street of good pacing is because there was less Hawk badges earlier in the year. I don't see how there was good pacing.
I think people are confusing the word pacing. People are confusing the word pacing with balanced. I think
it was the most balanced. It was the most balanced.
Like, you know, smaller point guards were more usable than they've ever been. You know, 6'6" point guards are still the best card.
How do they balance
300?
Balance it in the favor of 300s. They balance it in favor of the matchups. There's no 300 cards at all throughout the year.
Yeah.
But dude, Cassie Russell was the closest thing we got to a 300, and he had pro size.
300
Kyrie behind the back, or Wiggins behind the back.
300 was impossible. 300 was impossible because no one could connect off screens.
Right, and no card had a sig to ISO like at all. It was like I don't see balance or pacing. I see more balance and pacing in 21 than I do this year. In 21, they just blew their load way too early. In 22, when they did take things up a notch, it was way too much, way too late.
It was like, do you remember Steve Francis got Francis size up and everyone went crazy, and then the next day Richard Jefferson got Francis size up, and then we started getting a bunch of cards with Francis size up, and then people were like, no, we want D-Rose size up, and then every card got D-Rose size up. And it was like, I don't understand when it came to endgames.
And that was in May. Like, I think...
But like, you say that, there was not a single 7... In 2K20, there was not a single 7-footer with above 80 ball handle until the middle of May. And that was Ijian Lian. We didn't get a center with 86 ball handle in NBA 2K20 until Fan Favorites 3, which was the 25th of July. Other than Go Cards.
And that's where people twist my words, DBG, is people say, oh, Jacob just wants every card to have God's sakes. No. I want a Hondo every year. A card that comes out,
I think,
pre-250K, who literally has the Pro-Am point guard build down to a
Salim Stoudemire should have came out in November.
Exactly. Yeah. I agree 110% with that. That's
I think
literally
undersized point guards should be.
If you want to use Salim, if you want to use Salim in November, guess what? You're gonna get dogged out on defense, so you better go get a 3. Like, that's perfect. I agree with that 110%. 110%.
Yeah, like, I think that small. I think that up to like January, February, it should only be like 6'3" and under players with the 6. Unless, of course, it's a player's individual 6. But like, it should be like, say, Rose. But like, say, for example, like Salim Stoudemire should have way better 6. We shouldn't be releasing a fucking Bob Cousy card with normal size up. All of these undersized players.
How much did Hondo? Nobody played a Hondo. No casuals played a Hondo in January or whenever he came out in 2021 and thought, dang, man, this is way too OP. If you played a Hondo and he was torching you probably thought, this guy is really tough at the game.
Yeah.
Because those SIGs during that time of the year on my team are useless unless you have skill. They're useless unless you have skill. Unless you actually have put in the time to learn how to make use out of those SIGs, they're useless.
I think we should have a Hondo,
but
it should be on like a 6'3" point guard. I think
perfect.
Because I think if you are getting cooked by a 6'3" point guard at any stage in the game, we should have a Juan Carlos Navarro every year instead of replacing Hondo. Because
we had the closest thing we had to that this year, DBG, was Kazi and Cedric. Those are the closest things, but they weren't even close because their SIGs were terrible.
Cedric was a clone.
I mean, you could crab people with him, but that's it. He had pro size up and Andrew Wiggins behind the back and a terrible step back. Like, it it wasn't
It's
what
funny.
it was.
It's funny the way they like overcompensated for it at the end of the year as well, because it became like you brought it up, right? When did you bring it up? You started talking about it in like April, right? You started talking about 6, and then they started gradually dropping it.
I think I complained about that, and I was complaining about that in December because I couldn't score the ball.
I think that's when I caught wave of it. But yeah, they started dropping the 6 slowly. You start seeing trade pop up. You start seeing device sides
around that time.
And then they just went at the end of the game. Everyone could have everything.
Yeah, at that point in time, that's when I was like, "Are you serious? You guys never gonna do this?" This is when I was about to actually that's when I let loose, because that's when I was earlier at the point in the year, I was like, "All right, I see what you guys are trying to do. You're trying to make it so it's not gonna be an early game thing." But after a while, I was like, "Are you dead serious right now?" You know what I mean? When it was May and the best dribbling card on the game was, I don't even know. And above all of that too is if they bring back dribble styles next year the same way out of this year, we can't be giving base dribble style to players who are dogs at dribbling like John Wall, Baron Davis, John Wall, Trae Young. These dudes who are the shiftiest point guards of my generation should have quick or shifty from day one on.
Brandon Jennings.
I promise you that's not OP. Yeah, okay. That's gonna bring me up a whole nother
big dribble style. I love how they never changed. They never changed it. And then they gave a Metamorphosis card just to show that they messed up.
With Trey Murphy and Rudy Fernandez.
Yeah, Trey Murphy.
They were very aware.
They knew exactly what was happening. I found that so funny. I was like, they didn't change Brandon Jennings' SIGs, but they made Popeye a chicken man. They changed Popeye Jones' jump shot to make Popeye a chicken man. I was like, that is the funniest thing.
Quickly. I mean, and that's tough because I don't know if people realize, because I went on a whole entire rampage on Twitter about that, but Brandon Jennings was actually my favorite player in the NBA through my high school years. Actually, I went to the Staples Center one time in my life, and I'm wearing a Bucks Brandon Jennings t-shirt in front of the Magic Johnson statue. Brandon Jennings is my guy, and he hasn't been in 2K since 2K16. And they gave him big dribble style. Are you serious?
Oh, that is.
Are you serious right now?
They just left it. They were like, "That's good."
That was so funny. But yeah, I don't know. But the weird thing is that I'm still really optimistic for 2K23. I think it's gonna be good.
I am too. I've loved every odd year of 2K.
Yeah.
When I said that first, or when we started stream, people were like, "What's Jacob smoking?" I thought about it. 21, I shouldn't have been a fan of, but I loved the game. 19, I played more Park than I did MyTEAM, but when I did play MyTEAM, which was a good bit towards the end of the year, outside of the auction I was breaking, I loved that game.
Hito
17, I mean, yeah. I mean, I loved all that, I was watching your videos. You had no idea who I was, but I was watching your videos. It's a good time. This is a good time. I was a casual, but I was having a good time. I have historically liked the odd years of 2K a lot more than the even years, so I got a good feeling about this year.
I'm just kind of looking forward.
What impact do you think the game ending early is going to have on next year?
I think it's going
to be a slower start viewership-wise for us creators.
You reckon?
I don't.
I think it might be the opposite.
I think Dead Season's Dead Season. I think Dead Season's Dead Season. I've been around. This isn't my first rodeo. I've been around too long. Dead Season is Dead Season. We won't know till January. All of the creators that are booming now, getting 300-400k views on videos the day 2K22 launches, that's done. That's done for quite a while. Maybe January, February.
The most important thing we have to do at the start is just not complain. I think this is the one.
What if they released the 100 again? What if they released the 100? What if Clutch Time the dunk comes out? You play till you can see 23 dunks from Michael Jordan, and then you're gone.
If people didn't complain 2 years ago, you would have won 250k. All right, let's just
Let's not forget that. I'm the best.
Let's see how it goes for a few weeks.
Was there any?
No, this is the thing that comes out of the game. The game's going to come out. People are going to complain. They're going to say it's different. I don't like the thing. Things have changed. Can you please change it back? When we haven't seen how these things affect, the more OP cards we're getting later in the year. The reason every card can shoot the lights out now with ease is because we complained shooting was difficult, and they've obviously made it.
The shooting is going to be the exact same as 20. The shooting is going to be the exact same as this year. for the rest of the time.
I don't think so. I think they're going to nerf it massively.
No, there were so many complaints about 2K21. The casuals would rather every shot go in than this. It'll
Oh,
never
you mean
change.
the complaints of it? So.
Yeah. I don't think...
Yeah.
I think the complaints were less about shooting this year than any other year.
Definitely less than last year.
Like, you were seeing people on you were seeing people on
wild.
Twitter complain about it. You're not seeing celebrities complain.
You were having the time of your life. Everyone else was miserable.
Oh, that was the best thing ever. I remember, like, looking at MJ. I remember MJ's got popped. He was meant to have been the best player in the world, and he got popped by a stick shooter. And he went on this massive rant being like, stick shooting's broken, doing all this stuff. I'm like, dude, just learn how to stick shoot. Like, Mike Wang said it very clearly before the game comes out. Stick shooting is going to be the best way to shoot. I'm like, people refuse to learn. I think it was absolute BS because, like, if you knew how to stick shoot, you scored every shot. But, like...
That's also a problem.
I remember how this went, DBG. Because, I was torching shit in 21 early game, too. I remember specifically, I got mad. I was on stream to, like, 6 viewers. I got mad because I couldn't make anything. I drove across the street to McDonald's, and I was sitting in the parking lot of McDonald's waiting for my food. I watched your video about stick shooting, and I was like, all right, I'm going to come back home, get back on stream, and I'm going to start stick shooting. And I did it, and I was starting to green out of the corner with 90 overall Giannis, and I was like, yeah, this is what you got to do. Like, I don't want to do it, but this is what you have to do. Like,
I remember I'd be
no
there.
choice.
You probably don't remember. I would do, like, TTO streams during the day, and I would be, like, beating everyone 21-0. Because no one could score, and everyone's like, and I'm just there like tying all them in my stream. I'm like, I remember it was like, Shump, watch this. I had like a triple spin, step back, stick, fade away, green with Paul Pierce. Did the same thing again on the other side. I was just like, Shump, watch this, just flicking my stick in every direction, and then just putting it in the perfect spot and using my claw grip to move it. And I was doing the most mental stuff you've ever seen. Any shot I got up was straight center green. I'm like, this is a joke, by the way. Just
you literally had the claw. What was the claw?
The grip, claw. It was this.
This finger was like that in front of the controller.
It was like that. Right? So like basically, it was never about how you pull. It was never about your accuracy pulling down. It was all about making like little. It was all about like making a little bit of little bit of adjustments. So the problem with most people is they use one finger and they adjusted too much. It was you were adjusting too much like this. But if you use this finger to push it down and use this finger to adjust the tiniest bit each way, you would green every single time.
Everything. Yeah. Because you could agree with anybody, too. Like, obviously, Paul Pierce and, like, Allen Houston would have hit that. But, like, I was smacking out of the corner with 63-point Giannis. Like, you can ask Dale. I was, like, beating Dale by, like, 40 on EU. Well, you would quit before I'd even get up by that much because we'd play all the time back then. Like, it was literally broken. If you were stick shooting, you could just actually shoot like a normal 2K game or even better. And then if you couldn't, you would you were shooting like everyone had a 43 ball practically.
I remember triggering Shake because Shake was the person who hated the like normal shooting the most. And he constantly put out like games where he was like 0 of like 40 from 3, or he was 0 of 20, his opponent was 0 of 20, and I just start replying with like my game's 19 of 20. Or it was like there was a Tyler Hero Silver challenge where it was like score 3 3-pointers in a game of Tyler Hero. And Splash posted a thing where he went like 3 of 115. And I was like 3 of 4.
Yeah. No, because that's how it was before they patched it. It really was. You couldn't shoot with square, and then there'd be like rumors on the street, oh, so-and-so in Park, he's shooting with square and he hit 4 for 8. Like, you can do it. You're just not good.
Yeah, 50%. Yeah, I had like legit 2K League dudes in my stream being like, we've heard that you're the stick god. They were like, we've heard you're the guy to come to learn about the stick, and I was like, if you want to play with freaking claw grip, go for it. But they were watching me hit shots and they were like, nah, this isn't real. This isn't real. Because everyone was like, oh yeah, man, Ticino is like this fade god, and I was like, Ticino's a fade god, is he? Let me show you what I can do with the stick. And then the Zens came in. You couldn't Zen on the original patch. The really easy stick shooting, you couldn't actually Zen on that.
Because you use the excellent script? I'm sure you could.
No. Oh, sorry. You could use an excellent script. You couldn't Zen using the center script. Because...
Yeah, I don't even think the excellent script was probably out at that time yet.
Because it was literally random. Whether it went left or right was random on the pull down. Because I was testing it. When you pulled down, it basically went the same distance left or right no matter where you were on the floor. And it was a random whether it was left or right. Because I was pulling it down as hard as I could, and it would go in different directions both times. Like, it was a massively flawed mechanic. It was all just about your adjustments. But, yeah, it was completely random. But, yeah, so, because I'm going to upload this to 2K23, do you want to talk 15 minutes about 2K23 at the end? We're just talking about 2K in general. So, 2K23, I'm going to ask a few questions. Unlimited, do you think it's the same or changes? Both of you go. Or one of you go.
I think it changes.
Changes?
I think it changes for sure. Yeah,
It
100%.
yeah.
Changes.
It'd be
Okay.
crazy. It'd be the craziest thing if they didn't.
MyTEAM Limited, do you think it stays as the weekend game mode with rings? My answer is yes.
I think it'll become 7 days, but same concept.
Okay. Jacob?
I'm going to agree with Jazz on that. I think it becomes 7 days, but same concept.
That's
I
not
think
what I
that's-
want it to be, but I think that's
No.
what it'll be.
I would rather see the rings removed than see it go 7 days, even though I would like to see it 7 days as well. I just think that MyTEAM Unlimited and Limited aren't going to change names. I think Unlimited is going to get an overhaul, but they're still going to make MyTEAM Limited a limited game mode, because they can't call it MyTEAM Limited and not have the 7 days a week. That's why it's called MyTEAM Limited, because it's only a limited time.
It's called limited because the lineups are limited, no?
No, limited because of limited time.
No?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Granted, either way they
You
want.
could,
They
yeah,
could-
yeah.
they
They
could
could trade,
transition
yeah,
that.
you're right. Do you think that clutch time stays exactly the same? My answer is yes.
I think clutch time was meant to drop earlier or later than what it did, but they were either prepared too early to drop it or prepared too late to drop it.
It was in the
I
dev.
think
It was in the dev blog. It was in the dev blog that it was coming out when it was.
Oh yeah, they did say a new game mode coming out in December.
I still think you're probably right, though. I think they probably did intend to drop it earlier. It just wasn't ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon that shit
either
was
way,
gonna come out
either
soon.
way, I think that 2K still sees that as something that's new to the game mode that doesn't need to be touched yet. So I think they leave that the same. I think that everything about clutch time will remain the same, unfortunately, because I think everything should be overhauled just to give a new taste in the mouth. But nah, I think it stays the exact same.
Do you think anything changes on the road to level 40? And I'm saying no. And I'm by nothing. I think, you know the way the rewards were the exact same up to as 21, 2K21, except for instead of a random half badge, you got a half badge option pack. Do you remember the way it was like level 1 is the same reward, level 2 is the same reward, level 3 is the same reward? I think it stays the exact same. I don't think we see a change at all.
I think the seasons will get shorter.
I don't, because of Park.
I think they'll shorten the park seasons as well. Yeah, I think they'll.
think so.
Yeah, I think they will shorten it.
I would like them to do it, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
I think there will be a significant change to them. I think the concept will be the same, but I think there will be a change. I don't know what it is, but my guess is that they'll make it shorter.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
One season every month would be really cool. It's just they don't know when. It's hard to know when to start it then, because the game comes out in the.
For some reason, I just have a gut feeling that 2K views clutch time and XP as their new babies, and that they touch everything except those. That's right.
They're their two home
I wouldn't be
runs. They're the
surprised.
two things that are just not criticised by people who love those modes.
I think TTO.
Those modes have fanatics.
I think one of their new features is going to be TTO going back to the way it originally was.
With the spinners and stuff?
No, just no 100 concept. 5 losses instead of 100. I think that's going to be
I don't think they'll go back
addition.
because I think that they won't admit defeat.
No, they admitted defeat in season 2. They admitted
again would be tough. Yeah.
I have just this scary feeling that Unlimited's going to remain the same, and they're going to say, you know what, we have Showdown this year, people are going to be more happy from the start.
If the word unlimited comes back, I genuinely at this point,
I have
if the word unlimited comes back, I don't know what I would.
I have a really bad feeling. Like I don't think it's gonna happen. I just have a really bad feeling. Like I'm optimistic. Like I actually am like I think that there's a good chance of these things. I just have this sinking feeling that it, like I read last year's dev blog and was angry. And like I wasn't even just angry reading it. I was angry at everybody else. I'm there seeing like Henry HTB posting, "Oh, this mode sounds like a dub. OMG hollows." I'm like, this is a gimmick. How can you not see? Like I would like you if you would look at my Twitter. I was preaching to anyone who would listen that this mode is going to launch as a disaster. And I'm so scared that it's going to be the same crap again this year. I'm so scared.
I don't think it will.
If they bring
I
it back to the same way it was, if they bring it back to the same way it was, the game mode is gonna die. Like straight up, it will. I promise you, it will. It will.
Yeah.
The game mode will die flat out. It will. I promise it will. I
Do
promise it will.
you think there's a new tier or not? My answer is yes.
Yeah, 100%.
Probably some
a new
gimmicky
tier.
thing. I mean, I want everything to be changed, but I don't think it will. So I think they'll probably add a new tier. There'll probably just be a flat out gimmick for something that's irrelevant.
I think it's going to be... What tier do you think can be higher than Dark Matter?
I've been asking myself this question for weeks.
Because like
I have no
97,
idea.
97, 98 overall is going to become Dark Matter. 95, 96
Yeah.
overall is going to become Opal.
Opal, yeah.
93, 94 is going to become... It's going to be 93, 94 is going to be Diamond. Or sorry, it's going to be Pink Diamond. 92, 91 is going to be Diamond. So everything's going to be...
There'll be pink diamonds in packs like
Yeah.
first week.
Everything's going to be 2 overalls. So instead of Ruby being 87, 88, 89, Ruby's going to go just 87, 88, and 89, 90 is going to be Amethyst. And they're just going to pump in a new tier for 99s, because they always do it. Crystal.
They might end up scrapping
Platinum
gold tier
tier?
as well.
They won't scrap gold.
Well, they scrapped silver, didn't they?
Yeah, they won't scrap gold.
Last year. I can see it happening.
Do you know that
I think they're starting to trickle them down now.
they didn't realize how much they screwed up by making every card gold at the start of the game with the contracts? Like, remember that everyone thought, oh, they made every card gold so that we'd be spending more on contracts? That was completely not thought of. It just went over all their heads. Like, even though we literally said it, as soon as we read the devlog, we're like, is this not just going to be more for contracts for putting 3 golds at the end of the bench? No one's going to use golds anyway. But yeah,
See, if they, oh no,
I think platinum tier, platinum cards are going to be a thing.
I was just Googling what's higher than platinum, and I didn't really come up with much.
Platinum
so...
sounds worse than dark matter. I don't know. Dark matter sounds like impressive. That sounds like a big deal.
What's
Yeah.
like I don't know. What would be more than a Galaxy Opal or Dark Matter? I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. Come up with something, but
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, there will be though. There will be another one.
They
It's been tier,
would.
isn't it?
I don't know. Maybe they scrap heat checks and called them like on fire cards, and they have like a fire thing around them. The cards are literally on fire.
What was the last thing heat checks were relevant for?
Now, if heat fodder, heat checks have been fodder
I mean-
since the day they came out in 2K19.
They literally got replaced by dynamic ratings cards this year, basically, didn't they? But they
Yeah.
kept them in the game.
Yeah. Heat checks the worst concept
really
they've
much
ever
makes
came
sense.
up with.
I mean, it's completely redundant at this point. They literally replaced it. Like dynamic ratings cards are heat check cards. They changed based on how the players were playing.
Dynamic rating cards don't matter either.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah, I don't
if
know.
you see anyone loaded with a dynamic rating card, you know they're free bread.
Do you think they're going to bring grading back?
Yeah. Yep. Grading's going to be there. Hollow's going to be there. I think they add a new gimmick. I don't know what the gimmick is.
You know, all they need to do with these things is to add like a secondary benefit to these. Like hollow cards gives you a secondary benefit to having the hollow card.
well,
That's all they need
added
to
a
do to make these
secondary
cards
benefit towards graded cards, and they give you an extra 6
10
MP. Yeah.
Oh, it was. I
Game
used
changer.
whole team. You use a whole team of graded cards. You make 27 extra MT per game. Oh, it was
Yeah,
bad.
they've got to figure it out. There's got to be some hype about having a hollow. There's got to be like, if they want to keep that stuff.
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Something to do with hollows, like the players look maybe differently in game. Maybe like when they hit a shot. I don't know, when they hit a shot, there's like a hollow flash instead of a green flash, or I don't know.
I think it should directly impact the card. I think like like Power Within and the signature set, it always have like one extra half. Yeah, I think they should put in like if it's a hollow, it gets an additional extra half. Like it needs to matter. It needs to matter way more. Hollow should be like they could be a really big deal. Like people like Jay have made it fun anyway.
Yeah, but he's
But they
he's
could
he's
put
like
that
an exception.
big.
He's an exception.
Yeah,
He's not the rule. He's an exception to the rule. Hollow circle indicator. It's just something. Just something.
anything. Yeah, make it relevant. Make it matter.
Yeah, like
Then it's not a gimmick anymore.
but
There's a lot of things that they can do. There really is. There's endless amounts of things that they can do, but historically they don't do much. So
yeah.
it's kind of hard to hype that up.
Yeah, it is just a pity because it's like are we all in the same boat that we actually think that there's a chance things are going to change, but because of everything that we've seen over the last few years, we have to have it in our head that there's a good chance of nothing changing.
It won't.
Like,
Yeah,
there's a good chance of it saying. I have a really good feeling, but like at the same time, I always have in the back of my head being like, whatever we think 2K should do, don't expect them to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 50-50 on it. I think the odd years of 2K have been historically the ones where change does happen. I think that there's things that can change. I think that things will change in some way. And then there's the My NBA and Jordan stuff that seems really cool. So that gives me hope too. But at the same time, it's 2K. So my expectations are at 0. And, you know, when stuff does happen, at least I'll be happy because I didn't expect anything.
Yeah.
When this game dropped, I stopped making content. I just went cold turkey. I was like, nah, it's not for me. And then 2 things happened. Clutch time happened, which made content fun again. And I just changed my mindset, which is I'm not going to expect anything. And anything that happens that's good, I'm going to be happy about. And anything that happens that's bad, I'm not going to be surprised about.
There's 4.
I'm carrying that into next year.
There are 4 words to describe exactly what you're feeling, and I feel the exact same. The only issue is that if I say those 4 words, I get put onto it even further into the blacklist.
Say it again.
I'm not saying those 4 words. I'm getting like I'm completely like I'm very much I'm in the gulag. Probably never gonna get out of the gulag. But like, there's a guarantee it's instant death if I say those 4 words ever again. So
season of rings all over again.
The game of rings. Don't get me started on that. Don't get me started on that. The worst, I think the reason why I got into so much trouble about that is because I was right.
I'm going to plead the 5th.
I think...
I don't want to be on any lists of them.
I think if I was completely wrong with it and I was ranting for no reason, I wouldn't be as despised as I am. Because I think I've been wrong in a lot of situations. I think that one I was right. In that one specific situation, I was medium% on the money.
Do you think the truth hurt? Is that what you think?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't think they
podcast, can we have a detailed debate on if Season 8 and 21 or 22 is worse?
Season 8 and 22. Season 8 and 21 was fine. It just started off really bad. Season 8 and 21, by about halfway through it, Season Rewind were giving us actual decent rewards. We had Gauntlet Spotlight Sims. I know we only got like 1 free card, which was fucking... Reggie Jackson, and the only reason I know that was because I was mid Reggie Jackson gameplay when I got the email from 2K that I'd been Thanos snapped.
Well, I want to go back and watch that now and see if you have a reaction.
I just stop. There's just a stage where I just stop, and then I go back and cut in. Like, there's a cut in the video that shows something serious if I've cut the video.
Good one, edit.
But yeah. So I'm looking forward to content this year because I'm going full. They say never go full DBG. I'm going full DBG.
Yeah, I don't know what this means. I'm like, this is the thing I'm most nervous about coming into next year is what this full DBG.
Look at the stream. Look at the stream. I've already got one of my props ready.
Burger King.
I'm the king, BG. I'm the king. I'm going to be the king of my team. You better believe.
Dude, is that animated or is that CGI? Oh no, that's real.
I bought a crown. Oh no, I'm gonna have like
go to a party shop and buy that.
No, I bought it on Amazon like any sane person. Who goes to shops nowadays? Just buy it on Amazon like a normal person.
How did you know it's gonna fit your head? I've heard the shape of your head isn't fit for a crown recently.
Jazz, do you want me to call you out like I called out 2K James?
You're gonna pop me by 30.
I'll pop you by 30. I'm playing Nope, by the way, in 2K23. I'm gonna be like doing a bunch of like wages and things, and I'm never gonna play anyone on my host. Like, I'm saying this now so that like basically so that people don't think I'm actually going crazy. Like, they have like no one's gonna watch this video in the grand scheme of things. So like in November, no one's gonna remember this, so they're just gonna think I'm losing my mind. But at least there's this point of reference so that they're like, okay, he's not actually nuts. I'm gonna play every wager on delay, start losing in everything. I'm losing my damn mind, being like, I'll pop you by 30 on my host, is all stuff. And like messaging these people being like, look, I know I'm gonna lose to you. Pretend to be the
Got play.
Call myself the king of call myself the wager king no matter how much I lose.
Run with it.
I'll back down from nobody. And like full on go Mick Foley on it where I have like 3 different characters.
Cactus
Mick, like things like that. Go full on, like do what Jesser did and have like a certain outfit for when he wagers. Like just a bunch of random things. Like we've got, I'm gonna bring back D-Bed-G at times when I'm lazy. Like there are gonna be certain videos where I'm like D-Bed-G is back, or I'll be like, you know what, this guy's so free that D-Bed-G is coming out and record it from my bed, record a wager from my bed, shit like that. Like
I'm here for it, bro.
But, like, people are going to genuinely think that I've lost my damn mind. But, like, I kind of have and I kind of haven't. I just don't care anymore that much about content creation. Like, I think I've kind of done everything. Like, I've gotten everything I've ever dreamed of out of this. I have my own house. I'm... With all the stuff, like, with my degrees, when I get my master's degree, with all my experience, look, I'm never going to be stuck for cash for the rest of my life. I've gotten everything I can ever imagine out of it. So now I'm like, you know what? Maybe it's time to have fun.
Yeah. I think it's a good mindset.
And like, I'll still be doing news and stuff. And then it's just other videos. I'm just going to lose my damn mind, wagering everything and losing everything. Because I'm never going to wager money. I'm just going to wager like cards. And like, what's 300k MT a week? Nothing. Like, wow, like $10. Like, what's that?
I'd have no idea.
What's that to lose to him?
I will be waiting the wagers very early. Very early, I will be baiting.
Oh yeah, like
no hard feelings.
Like you will be.
What do you mean? I've been challenging you for 4 months.
Yeah, I just want people that will clap back at me, and like know that it's all like a character. So it's like whenever me and Ty go at it.
If Jacob's going to end this year ducking this wager that I've been challenging him to for 4 months.
I don't know if we're supposed to wager for rupees or Diet Cokes, but I'm ready. I'm ready, Jazz.
Oh, Jazz, I'm wagering you for rupees.
Yeah,
I'm wagering. Oh no, I'm gonna wager you.
Some money around.
I'm gonna wager you for rupees, and then I'm just gonna be like whatever 200 or 2,000 rupees, and then at the end, if I win, I'm like, and it'll come up my PayPal. You've made like whatever 14 euro, and I'm like, what the hell is this? You said 2,000, or just like even just make it a fake wager, because like there's a lot of video, like there's one very specific video on YouTube that is a evidently fake wager, but it's one of the most entertaining wagers you'll ever see, or one of the most entertaining quote unquote competitive games you'll ever see. But like, I would have no issue I assume you would have no issue either faking a wager just get that type of reaction.
I'll just play you for 200 rupees.
Yeah. Play for rupees, and if I win...
It's $1.21, I think.
Yeah. Or if I win, you keep telling me you're playing me for 2,000. Never saying 2,000 what? You send over 2,000 rupees. Yeah. And I start losing my mind. I'm like, 2,000 rupees? What is this?
You think I'll pay your rent and I'll buy you a Diet Coke? Yeah, that's how it's going to go. Yeah, it'll be fun.
Like,
I want to do a lot of stuff like that this year. I just want to have I just want to go stupid with it.
Yeah, like I think it's more entertaining when like you're overreacting in those situations, because I think the way the wager scene's gone in my team is just completely dead. And that's why I'm mostly looking forward to 2K23, because I have a kind of new kind of content that I do want to try out, because nobody cares watching Ty versus 11 for the 7,000th time. Or watching Ty play Grinch 7 days in a row on stream. Like, no one wants to watch Carlo versus Rello for the 7th time.
If you know the backstory behind Grinch's wagers, though, that's pretty good entertainment.
It is.
He tells the people he's gonna play that he's gonna spit on them. So
yeah, I mean, no, it is and it isn't. Like it is when you're it is when you're playing Grinch. When you're playing Grinch 7 times in 7 days, it's a bit of an issue.
Yeah, 7 times in 7 days is too much. But
like what Wall did in 21 was brilliant. What Wall did in 21 was great.
Wall was the fastest partner I've ever seen on Twitch, because he literally he branded himself as Wager Wall, and he was down to wager everyone.
Yeah.
Good to watch when nothing else was going on.
And that's one of the things where I'm like, no one cares if you lose. Like, nobody ever cared that Carlos, for 80% of his time on Twitch, has sucked at 2K. Like, he was good last year. Like,
there's a very small minority of the community that cares at all how good someone is at this game.
no. Like,
And those people really care how good you are at this game.
and like the
But it's
worst,
a very small minority.
I never understand that. Like, people will be telling me I suck while I'm up like 57-4 in a clutch time game, shooting all fadeaway limitless shots with hero and greening every one of them. And they're like, you stink. I'm like, I'm up like 55 points in a clutch time game.
I'm gonna start building the seed early and just piggyback off them and say, yeah, DBG, you do stink, and I'm taking your crown. Come
Of
2K23, so
Of course, please,
Hey, we're gonna
please
take
do.
200 rupees off him collectively.
Jazz, at some stage, I'm gonna do something like, do you remember the Triple H versus Mick Foley situation, where it was like he was mankind,
when
where
he
he was mankind, and it was like
came back.
no, and he was like mankind. He was like, mankind is never gonna beat you, but I know someone that might. And he just takes off his costume and he's Cactus Jack, and it was like, oh my god, it's Cactus Jack! It's Cactus
Do you remember
Jack!
the interview he does on the green screen when all three of them are there talking to each other? So it's like, yeah, you've got to do that with like 3 different characters, like standard one, the one with the crown. just have them all talking to each other.
I think it
Let's
can be.
blow it up.
I think it can be fun. I think there's enough people that would kind of buy into it. Like, I don't think
I think so.
there are some people that I'm like, look, not that they're like they can't really take a joke, and like obviously you're not gonna be doing anything with those. Like, I wouldn't like if you made like if people start making WWE promo videos on me. But there are people that if I was wearing a king's crown, had a scepter, and a freaking king coat, calling myself the king of my team, that would be responding being like, why does he have this energy? Who does he think he is? And I'm like, I'm clearly taking the piss. Like,
I think it's done, isn't it? Like in the community now. Look at Troy now. Every time he streams, he's like a different
yeah.
lunatic.
Yeah, like I'm getting my props ordered. Like I'm planning that out. Like what characters I'm gonna be. Like King DBG is gonna be a thing. I think I'm gonna buy like a blazer with just dollar signs all over it for wagers. I got buy like money glasses and be money man.
You just gotta wear the Jacob outfit from that.
Yeah.
Picture.
Oh no, I'm gonna be there with like fake. I'm gonna be there with like fake money, making it rain on with fake money every time I win a wager.
DB Jacob, yeah,
Like-
the want to cash out.
Yeah, like I'm just trying to have fun again because like my team, in terms of like collaborations, is just so dead. Like there's no
$1 million Mick. That's a good name.
$1 million Mick. $1 million Mick. Oh yeah. I mean, according to some sites on Google, my net worth is $1 million. So yeah, $1 million Mick. Let's call it that. Let's call it that. I'm by no means even close, but let's call it $1 million Mick. Oh, we have done one of these podcasts during the year. Come up like right before 2K23. Come up with all these different alter egos.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say we got time on our hands, but we'll get the dev blog next week, and that'll give us a lot to
Yeah,
Yeah,
waffle
I'm
on.
really excited for it. I'm genuinely hyped to get it.
yeah. So am I.
I'm really
No,
hyped
me
to get
too.
it.
I mean, it's either gonna be great or it's gonna be bad. One of
Yeah.
the two. Curious to see.
Yeah, like
Might be mid. Could just be like we could be indifferent to it. I think that's the one thing
like
no
Ta-
one's gonna feel, right? Either people are gonna love it, right?
I'm just gonna put this
There is-
out there. Toddy right now is saying that like people revive collabs. Collabs have not been revived in my team. I just want to be very
No.
clear. AY have uploaded one video. Toddy's done one wager with Kid Med. Collabs are not back yet.
No, it could be.
They could,
It
like,
be, but
oh, it's a start.
there's
It's a
potential
start.
there.
Yeah, I think 23 is going to be the year where collabs come back. I think I think 2K23.
I think if Toddy said we're planning to revive collabs,
Yeah.
that's fair.
I
but,
think
like,
it'll be revived by the end of next year, and I want to
Toddy,
be
you got
1,000
part of
views
that. On one video or 5,000 views on one video wagering Kid Med. Like, I mean, come on, dude. Like
We
back
have-
in the day, like Dresser used to get like 300K like wagering against cash,
I
like
mean,
weekly and stuff.
Jacob,
like,
we have like 40,000 on a Guess Who video.
really? That
Yeah,
shit?
that's what
Yeah.
I was gonna say. You started to see it towards the end of this year that collabs were.
Collabs have
Yeah,
always
again,
been
but
collabs
there's-
have always been the way.
I
The
don't
thing
know.
is I would so much rather do this. I
People-
enjoy this. As
Yeah.
long as Zeke can settle down, I would just so much rather just talk it out about with like people who play the game. Like, I don't have that much interest. Like, unless someone else wants to edit my videos, I'm not doing that. So,
Yeah.
This is
You know
all
what I
I'm doing next year. All I'm doing next year is the podcast each weekend. I'm going to do like a midweek mini podcast, and then I'm just going to clip it out all week.
Yeah,
That's
the way to
I
go.
agree. This is the most fun I
That's
have.
the way to go. Yeah, like I've got.
Yeah.
I'm only in 4 hours a week for my masters, so I don't think it's gonna be taking too much of my time.
Yeah.
And my semester one is like building a social media, or is like understanding social media, and then there's another one is like building a social media brand or something. I'm like, if I don't pass these modules, there's something wrong.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. You got
It is a master's
in
course.
place.
I mean, it
Yeah.
might not be as.
No, I'm not saying it'll be.
there.
I'm not saying it'll be straightforward. Like, it's not like I half-ass
Yeah.
shit. I don't half-ass anything.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it won't be like
No.
it won't be like undergrad, but it'll still be something.
Toddy's saying we started collabs. Like DBG and Ty Debo collabs haven't been happening throughout the fucking year.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, even these team takeover podcasts were
Yeah.
kind of. If Dale wouldn't have, don't get me wrong, like I'd not.
Oh,
liked
he
Dale
like
at
it was
all.
completely
Like,
justified. I don't blame him at all. It was hard to do it without him.
no, yeah, exactly. I mean, I didn't want to do it without Dale because Dale's my guy, you
Yeah.
know. But I just think one thing I will say too is if Jack actually comes back, that will motivate me to
Yeah.
like do everything more. Like I will literally do like Jack's the reason why I started streaming. If he actually comes back, I'm gonna be going crazy myself. If Jack goes crazy,
Jack's
I'll go crazy. Cause
Jack is the most entertaining streamer, including Splash. I put Jack above Splash.
I put him in the same S tier category, and they're the only two there. That's it. I mean, but the
he
thing is
said
with
he's coming
Jack,
back, right? Did he not say he's going to
Yeah.
start doing
Yeah.
things?
he has the
He
worst
says
plan
that.
in the world. He has the worst plan in the world. His plan is I'm only gonna stream 3 days a week, and I'm only gonna play unlimited. I'm not touching offline, and I'm not spending money too, because Jack's team name is literally the Stingy CUNTs. So he's
Yeah.
not gonna spend money. He's not gonna grind offline, and he's gonna stream unlimited 3 days a week. It's
Jack-
like, all right,
Jack
where your
should just
cards
get-
come from?
Jack should just get in. I'm actually considering making it a compulsory thing in DBG wagers to be in Discord. I'm gonna try and make
What do you
that like if I'm wagering you, we're both in Discord.
Yeah, I mean they're way better. Like if it's not a comp wager, that's how it
Yeah,
should be. If
but,
it's
like-
for an entertainment wager, that's
Yeah.
how it should be.
But like comp wagers, no one, as much as I hate to say it, no one gives a damn about comp wagers. In
I
the
want to say no one.
Sorry,
there is
sorry.
a niche community for it. There is a niche community,
but that niche
for it.
community
I mean,
is 400
Yeah, it's
people.
very niche.
It's 400
Yeah.
people.
like because like if I wager, you know, even when I played Wall in that tournament or whatever, like pretty recently, like I was at like 170, which is like higher than I've been getting.
Yeah.
You know, like so like there is some people who care, but not
Yeah.
like that, you know.
But that was
Because
because
there is some people.
if you were wagering every single day, you wouldn't be pulling in 170 for a thing as well. It's just because it was a rare occurrence. And
That's
like
true, too.
because
Yeah, I
wages
mean-
don't mean anything anymore. Unless Ty plays Splash, they don't mean anything. Because
Yeah.
everyone just plays everyone every day. And they're just passing
Yeah, if
money
it's
around each
someone
other.
new, if I were to wager, like hypothetically, like like Hims or like JC or Carlo or like someone who's an Xbox guy who I've never played before, like people are gonna show out for it. I'll pull 200 probably if I wager any of them guys. Like, but it's
Yeah.
just like you said, it's a niche community. It's a very niche community, and it doesn't really make odds like for like YouTube content. It makes odds in Twitch world, but
Yeah.
it doesn't make odds in YouTube.
Yeah, like I just want people to realize that I'm not taking anything seriously. Because like if you remember in the summer of 2020, I would be like trying to start fake beef with people, and their response would just quote tweet and be like, "Where is this energy coming from?" And I'm like, "Oh my god, please stop, stop this." I called out out a card. I didn't even say anything about you. I said something about a card. I'm like trying to start a wager. I'm like, oh no, where is this coming from? I clearly don't give a damn. I'm just trying to get views. But it was like even the 2K James situation. Like I wouldn't have responded if I didn't think that I could get a wager and get 2 videos out of it.
Yeah, it did. That did
content.
okay.
It did fine. Like I never
You
was.
threw though, DVG.
I'm a choke artist. You know, Jacob, I'm a choke artist. How many times? Jacob, I played you in an Elam game up to 53 points. It was
know.
a 50-43 and lost. I threw an Elam game against you with a 7-point lead.
Yeah, you should have had that. You definitely should have had that. On host as well, you should have been.
He's not. He's an okay player. He's okay. Like, he's better than me. He's definitely better than me. But he's not like.
I'm taking Prime DVD over 2K James.
Oh yeah, like
over 2K James.
I'll take him week one NBA 2K23. I'll probably take him on my host, on his host.
Yeah, no, I'll bring that back for round 2. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that's a funny one because like, I don't even care at the end of the day. Like, I just seeing people like getting really going mad, being like, oh, like he's such a sore loser. He like cursed you out before the game, and I'm like, yeah, of course I did. I was like,
No.
I was like, he spent the whole game like insulting the shape of my head. He was like literally the Roblox thing. It was hilarious. It was hilarious. But
dude,
like,
did you notice last night before you rated Mood, someone typed in your chat and said he's reacting to you right now, and then you rated him, and he's literally playing Roblox.
I didn't see that. Oh my god! I rated him playing
watching
Roblox.
like DBG videos. Someone said he's reacting to you right now. I expect to be like watching like a tier list, a DBG tier list or something. DBG rates him, but he's playing Roblox.
Like I kind of rate that.
That was funny.
I rate that joke. Like it's not like knowing being told I have a square head is something I've heard every day for the last half decade. So I don't really care about it. But it's like, I'm not gonna lie, I did see an opportunity to make a really funny response video to 2K James. Because like I knew I just had to type in from 2K James at DBGYT_ to see every time he promoted under my tweets. So I was just, every one of my responses was like, you gonna keep promoting under my tweets? Are you gonna keep promoting under my tweets? I thought it was like
credibility, DBG. You gotta lose your credibility in this community.
I gotta lose my credibility. Was he gonna stop promo in there? But it's like, I don't know, like I don't even mind it that much. And the worst, like, I talk about that now, and he's gonna be still really pissed off about that. And it's like, nobody, like, he's grand. We talk behind the scenes, but it's like, and like everyone was like, oh, he said like no disrespect. I'm like, you can't just like. He went so far below the belt, but I also found it very funny. Like, he is a funny person. 2K James is a funny person. Like, I actually kind of rate that. I'm watching his streams. I watched that video. He is funny.
Yeah, no, I mean he's fine. You know what I mean? Like, he does what you need to do to be a streamer.
It was entertaining, yeah.
Oh yeah, it was a fun game. Like, we're never all of a sudden gonna be fucking talking. You're not gonna see him on this podcast anytime soon. You're not gonna be buddy in the DMs. I'm nothing against the guy necessarily, but like, it was a fun stream. Worked out well for both of us.
Yeah, he had like 400 viewers because you weren't streaming it.
I didn't want to stream it because I wanted the whole. Because I thought I was gonna win. So I wanted everyone.
I think everyone did until the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Until you lost.
Yeah, like I thought I was gonna win from the start. I thought I was gonna win comfortably, which is the worst part, and I just choked. But what I basically wanted to do is that I wanted to not stream, and then everyone think it wasn't me, and then me, like, half of my reaction originally is just, you guys actually think it's not me. This is hilarious. Because I say it before the game, and I'm like, I can guarantee you when I'm winning this game, everyone's gonna say someone else is playing.
I was legitimately getting mad when people were saying that, like, when it's not you, because I was like watching it, and I'm like, dude, like, how bad do you think DBG is? Because you weren't even doing anything out of the ordinary. It's not like you were playing like a dog. Like, you were just playing regular. Like, I was like,
it was his play style as well. It's just very obvious.
Yeah, it'd be different. It'd be different if all of a sudden you learned how to do misdirections and quick stops or something. You know?
Yeah, and I wasn't just running to the corner.
Regular.
I was just
playing regular. I'm like, what's he doing that makes you think this isn't DBG? Like, he's not doing anything.
I can green wide open jump shots, and I don't throw the ball into passing lanes.
Yeah, literally, that's it. You had like one good lurk where I was like, nice DBG, but like,
I didn't mean to do that. I had my settings on smother and deny and switch to the player as the CPU got in the lane. Like, all my steals were because I played smother deny.
Yeah, that's why I was getting mad, because it wasn't even just like 3 people who were like, this is a DBG. It was like half of this chat going nuts. Like, this isn't him, this is Ty. I'm like, dude, have you watched Ty play? Like, I'm sorry, but Ty would have this man boxed. Like, he wouldn't be getting up the corner.
The best was that, like, I get on the mic and start, like, going full on McGregor mode, curse him out, being like, I can't effing wait to beat you. is going to be so
Yeah,
effing great. It's like,
chat-
I'm an
people in the
effing
chat
bum.
were like,
I was like,
DBG
call me.
doesn't cost,
I'm
this
like,
is
call me a.
DBG.
I was like, call me a. I was like, call me an effing Roblox head again. I dare you. I dare you. And then like, everyone's like, oh, that's not him. That's not him. And 2K James is there like, oh no, that's not him. That's not his accent. And I'm like, what is going on, guys? DBG here today. I'm gonna effing beat the living daylight out of you, 2K James. And he was like, okay, that's him. But
I gotta hop off, guys.
Yeah, I was like,
He should go outside. He's gotta piss. So.
We've been an hour longer than we should have, so we're gonna leave it there. So
It was a fun time. We'll be back.
That's a good time. We'll be probably back at some stage next week, probably.
Yeah, we can do next week if you guys want to do the dev blog.
Yeah, because the dev vlogs,
podcast.
just the dev vlogs being leaked the day before. I assume we all know that, don't we? Like
When is it supposed to be out? Like Thursday?
Thursday, but 2K Intel have leaked all of them on Wednesday.
Right.
And the only issue is that like once 2K Intel leaks it, it's public knowledge, so we can say whatever the hell we want as long as we don't show any of it. As far as I'm aware, as I'm aware, if you're planning on talking about the blog, do not show the 2K Intel tweet or do not show any 2K gameplay.
I mean, we can always just talk in like hypotheticals too.
Yeah,
Hypothetically, if 2K Intel tweeted that level 40 was going to be Dr. J, how do you feel about that?
Yeah.
You know?
This is heavily rumored. This is heavily rumored. I'm gonna play NBA Live. I'm gonna have NBA Live in the background of my video, and just have like random custom card art from 2KDB all over it. But yeah, I just got to be safe with that because if they're gonna Thanos snap anyone, it'll be me. But yeah, so you guys good to end?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Cheers for everyone that's been in the stream, and this video will be on the DBG channel tomorrow.